What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media, and we are here for a very special edition of Bad Booking, episode 7. I'm here with my good friend Anthony Blackwell Jr. and my other good friend Mark Pro Wrestling Kingpin. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Good. So
Christmas.
we talked about this last week off air. If we go live on Christmas, and I said to the guys, I said, listen, what if there's people out there who maybe don't have a family to hang out with or anything to do, and what if they're like, you know what, I hope the boys go live Sunday so I have someone to hang out with, and we're here tonight. We are your Christmas family. Let's hang out. Let's talk wrestling, and let's have a great time. If you're in the chat, say hi to everybody. I think there's tons of different places this is streaming between myself, CR Media, as well as Pro Wrestling Kingpin. So there's tons of people. The chat will hopefully is going off as it already is. But welcome everybody to this Christmas edition of Bad Booking.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
For those first joining us that have maybe not seen Bad Booking, have seen the I-70 Hot Tag or the Post Dynamite Post Show or ABJ's show, where he does fantastic interviews, Mark's streaming, gaming, whatever the case is. If you are new to Bad Booking, what we do is we go across the landscape of professional wrestling and we talk about everything as a whole. Just kind of, like I said, hang out, talk wrestling, drink beer, and hang out. So this is what we're doing tonight. Like EBJ said, it was a unanimous decision to go live tonight. So figured this was just a show about Dominic Mysterio. No, but you can hate on Dominic Mysterio all you want in here, Brody. Nobody will judge you for it. So so gentlemen, I want to ask, how was everybody's Christmas today?
Entertaining.
It's pretty entertaining. It was pretty fun. My wife killed it with Chris Jericho ugly Christmas sweater. Ho, ho, ho.
That's a badass.
Yeah. Hanged out with the family, so it was pretty good. How was yours, Chase?
They were good, man. They got a lot of cool presents, and they were very happy with what happened. So, you know, um, my wife and I was telling you guys, my wife and I are in the process of selling a house, and so we as soon as we sell that house, I told my wife, I was like, we'll have our Christmas presents and our lure then, but for now, we'll make sure that the kids are well taken care of this holiday season. So
Can I
um
can I change up the order a little bit, interject a little bit?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's dive right into Christmas. We were gonna make this a draft, but instead of a draft, someone's ESPN just keeps going off. Just putting it out there. I'm
So
gonna
me.
assume it's Chase. It's just going crazy. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, we're gonna do a quick couple picks
Nice
between
football
us.
players, man. You know.
Yeah, yeah. A couple picks between us. We're gonna go over, and you can feel free to say them in the chat as well. What have been some of your favorite wrestling related Christmas gifts that you have gotten over the years? And I'll start with you, Kingpin.
So
Mark.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this is gonna be biased. So I barely had video games growing up. You know, we grew up very poor, but we got a PlayStation 1 a little after PlayStation 1 came out. And my first video game ever was, in my opinion, I could be biased because it's my first video game ever, but I think it's the best wrestling game that I've ever played.
Real
SmackDown
quick,
2.
Chase is so easy to read his lips. Did you
I
like? I
know, yeah,
literally,
I read it, I read it, I read it, I read it.
fucking love you, piece of
I,
shit.
I read it, I read it. But going back, SmackDown 2. I got SmackDown 2 for Christmas.
Okay.
I believe it's the best wrestling game to this day, only because I'm a big, like, when I play sports games, I do like franchise mode, and I always try to always build my team or build my character, whatever. SmackDown 2 had the best career mode in my opinion. They had like a ranking system for each championship title. You could, obviously it was co-op, so me and my brother used to just grow up playing it nonstop. I thought it was just the best, and that would always be my number one overall pick, even if no one was gonna grab it. Love it.
I
SmackDown 2.
will I will I will tag along the video game train. I was the kind of kid. I'm born in December, and even though my birthday is December 5th, I get double gifted every year. Like, oh, well, this is for your birthday and Christmas, and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
but every year, one of those N64 wrestling games dropped. I knew that was on the top of my list, and I was gonna get it. And every single year, you turn on No Mercy, you turn on WCW versus NWO Revenge, and you have that opening cutscene with Sting standing there in the truck, or like the intro video to No Mercy. Bro, those N64 wrestling games to this day are absolutely my hands down favorite. And it makes me insanely excited for this new AEW video game because if it plays anything like that, I will need new shorts every time I turn my system on.
another
That is the
Christmas
worst
game.
one. That
I
is the
know
worst.
it's
Yeah,
another Christmas game.
yeah. Um, I even went out and took my old N64s that I have, and I opened it, and I sawed off the little nubs inside where the games go. So if you look at an N64 game, grab your N64 game real quick for me again. I'm sorry to make you get up, but if you look at an N64 game that's from America, if you turn it around, the holes in the back, you see how there's holes on the very ends of the cartridges. So when you pop that in, there's little nubs that they fit into, and that's the only way you can region lock your N64. So the Japanese games, those notches are more towards the middle of the consoles. So if you take your N64 and saw off those knobs, you can put any region X game in your N64. So not only do I have all the American versions of the wrestling games, I have all the Japanese New Japan versions, which is just like the same engine, the same controls, the same everything, but it's all in Japanese and all the Japanese wrestlers. I love the N64 wrestling games. They're fucking amazing.
Hell
Yep.
yeah. What about you,
Super
Chase?
excited. Super excited for the AEW video game. So mine was SmackDown Just Bring It for the PlayStation 2. I my mom and I, when my mom and my stepdad separated, my mom and I didn't have a whole lot, and I had an aunt who went out of her way to make sure I had a nice Christmas that year, and I thought I got a cell phone, which was really weird. You know, it was like one of those big ass like track phones. And my mom was like, "Are you going to open it up?" Because I was like, I pretended to be excited. I was like 12. You know, I was like, "Oh, cool, a cell phone." And she's like, "Why don't you open it up?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll open it up." And I opened it up, and it was SmackDown. Just bring it. And I was like, "But mom, this is for the
It's a
PlayStation 2. I
CD
don't have a
case.
play."
How did you mistake that for a cell phone?
Well, it came in a big box, and she stuffed it in there.
Oh, okay.
I opened it. I opened it up, and it was a track phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's why I was like, "Oh, it's a track phone, like cool." And so she was like, "Open it up." So, um, uh, I was like, "Mom, this isn't gonna work. This is for the PlayStation 2. I don't have a PlayStation 2." And she's like, "Oh shit!" And she's like, "That sucks."
They
And
buried the
then
lead when you knew you were getting a PS2 later on down the line.
no, I didn't. She like because I mean she played
How did you
dumb.
not
She was
figure that
like,
as a wrestling fan? As a wrestling fan, once I figured out the ins and outs of the business, dude, you couldn't surprise me. I'm like, oh my god, I figured out your booking. Real
yeah,
quick, not a gift, Christmas gift, but Steven Chambers brought "Here Comes the Pain" up in the chat. Just real quick thing with that one. So when "Here Comes the Pain" dropped on PS2, that's when they came out with the adapter that you plug in, and then you can play up to 6 players at one time on one PlayStation. Bro, we had some crazy 6-man fights going on that PlayStation. It was
yeah.
"Here Comes the Pain" was so
Fun.
much fun.
Hell yeah, it was so fun. It's
Yeah.
another
So
solid game.
for those that don't know, Ashley and I, my wife, have been together since I was 14 years old, off and on.
Holy Hannah.
When I say off and on, one of the things is I let her use my PlayStation, and you know, she never brought it back. You know, it was kind of like one of those things where the PS2, like you send it to the girlfriend's house, and the girlfriend never brought it back. So it was like a hoodie back in the day. So, anyways,
Oh,
I had
you
to get
loved her that
another.
you sent your video game system to her house.
Yeah.
I
So I got
never.
another PlayStation. I got another PlayStation 2, and it was the Slim,
Slim.
and you
Yeah.
could play online. Me, B Rowdy 23, and my friend Stitchamania played SmackDown games all the time. Bro, I demolished. I I beat bitches for a living on those games. Nobody could beat me. Nobody.
Merry Christmas, Harley.
And
Thanks for hanging out.
yes, Harley,
Merry
appreciate you joining.
Christmas.
Harley's also
Um,
another podcaster who does some interviews in the local independent scene. So make sure you go Talk of the Ring podcast on YouTube and Facebook and go
nice,
follow it.
nice. You know, we're a big fan of local independent wrestling over here. So,
Yeah,
um,
she's doing a great job. She's very young in the game and also still very young. So everyone be appropriate. But go follow the podcast and go support her. She's doing a great job.
yeah. So, anyways, I beat bitches all the time. So when we got the Slim, I was like, I'm about to go online. I'm about to be the greatest player of all time.
Get
Like
smacked.
I'm about to beat little children in China and Japan, and I'm about to just demolish the game. I was Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast was Mr. Beast. Ninja before Ninja was Ninja. Turn that thing on. Chaos Chase, the greatest creative wrestler on there against Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson beat the dog shit out of me. Beat the dog shit out of all three of us. And then I quit. I never played online. I never played wrestling games
I
online
was
again after that.
really good at football games online in the old PS2. Like I smacked people up in football games, especially 2K5 when 2K5 hit. The shit
Oh,
was
with
online.
To, I missed that, dude.
Dominated people.
We need a
I
fucking
still have
football
that.
2K game, dude. Madden his ass.
I still have that
I
game.
have all the NCAA games. I have up until the newest ones, but I have all the Madden cover boys from that all the way up to like the Xbox when it went to Xbox One, and then I got everything digitally. But I don't. I have all the cover boys, and even some issues that had some years had the cover boy, and then some years had special editions, and then some years had other box sets that didn't come out, and then some years had a Spanish version of the Madden game, and I even had the Spanish cover, and it had a different cover guy. I remember, I think it was Madden '07. Brett Favre he's on the
It was
cover as
Madden.
a
That
Packer.
was Madden 9.
Madden 9, he's on the cover
Yep.
as a Packer. They
Then
put
they
out
put
a
him as a Jet.
they put then there's a download that you could put him as a jet. Like you can download it and put him as a jet and like reprint it out. And then there was a breast cancer awareness version where he's in pink and Green Bay. Yep.
Okay, cool.
I believe there's a Spanish version of that year too.
Sean Merriman. I think Sean Merriman or something.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That guy.
That fucking guy, dude. That guy's a psycho.
But yeah,
But,
see, B Rowdy remembers that day. I'll never forget that day, dude.
So, Mark, what's your
I
next?
was so excited. I was so excited to hook it up and thought I was going to kill everybody online. And yep.
What is your next pick, Mark?
So back to me and my brother, we used to play with the wrestling action figures.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have like make our own promotion and whatever. But they came out with like the first so at the bottom of the wrestling figures they had like two little metal pieces. So when you put it on this SmackDown with the old, it had like you remember the SmackDown stage that it had like the rings, it had like 3 rings.
Yeah.
But that one came out and you would put the wrestler on the metal piece and they would play their entrance music. So your boy got the Jericho, you know what I mean? And then you put the Jericho on there and all of a sudden it was like break the walls down. That shit was badass, dude. So we would always just try to buy those wrestlers that had the metal piece on the bottom that would play their actual theme music. I thought that was fun.
And then they would put them out. They would come out with that special theme of that wrestler, and then they'd make 4 of them and then stop.
yeah.
Because the arena didn't sell. Not my pick, but there was an arena that really stuck out to me as a gift. But remember when the first ever WCW Nitro arena, and that was like the first one that was sold as a ring. It had the trussles that went up over top, so you can have Sting drop down like from the cord. It had a rampway and it had the entranceway with the WCW Nitro. I hated WCW, but I loved that ring because it was the first one that I ever got that had like a rampway, an entranceway, and then it had like you can throw people off the top of the trussles and stuff. Yeah. Chase, did we lose you? Oh, God.
I had to go let the dog in. What's up, buddy?
You hate WCW?
When I was a kid growing up, I was diehard WWF. I would not watch WCW. I drew the line in the sand as a kid. Like I went to a buddy's house and he would put WCW on and do the channel flipping. And I said, if you change that channel one more time back over to WCW, I'm fucking leaving and I'm never watching Monday Night Raw with you. I'm never coming over here on a Monday ever again. I felt so betrayed when everyone left and went to WCW. I was done. Yeah. I was that young dumb fan who picked and choose sides instead of watching both.
I would always flip the channel. All right, well, Raw's on a commercial, we're watching WCW, and then when WCW went to commercial, I'll go back. That's
and I also my entire childhood was never a Hulk Hogan fan. He bored me.
Yeah,
I hated he's the reason I don't like the golden face baby face where he's so predictable that he wins every match. Because he ruined it for me. I was like, I fucking hate when they only book for one guy and then you have all these other talented like Hulk Hogan made me love the mid card of wrestling my entire life. I was always a mid card guy.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yep. And then he went to WCW, and I was like, I'm not watching that shit. Fuck him.
I like this guy, Chase. He knows.
Birdie's always been anti Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The only time I ever liked Hulk Hogan was NWO.
Oh my God. And my parents. Yeah. Well, this is my Christmas gift. My parents every year, when they would buy me something wrestling, they bought every fucking Hulk Hogan thing they can find because it was the only thing that was available. So my first ever really big thing that I loved and I beat the dog shit out of it. And I want one to have again as an adult, but they're like $100 to $150, but I refuse to buy the one I used to have. My wrestling buddy, the first wrestling buddy I have, Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy. And I beat the dog shit out of it because it was Hulk Hogan. And I always wanted the King Macho Man wrestling bunny and never got it.
Yo.
But that was my next favorite gift was my wrestling buddy. Because my God, dude, I went in like storage and I found old baby. Remember when you would slide under the mattress so your baby didn't roll out of bed? Like if you had a kid, when I would toss and turn a lot as a child. So they would put these you put them in the mattress, like under the mattress, so the mattress weighed it down, and it was just a barrier. So if you rolled to the edge of the bed, you didn't fall out of bed.
What?
You never heard of those? It was they were so trying to keep kids.
I was trying to keep it. You were like. So here's what you just said. When they put the baby under the mattress and then put it
when you have a baby who tosses and turns a lot, you would buy these. They were like blockers that you would put on the underneath the mattress, and then so you couldn't roll. You're like almost like of a bunk bed. It has that barrier, so if you're on the top bunk, you can't roll out of bed. Imagine
Yeah.
that, but you'd put on the actual beds. So I found these in storage. I guess they had them for me as a kid. I didn't remember. Found them, put them on my bed. Dude, there's your top rope. Over the top rope battle royals. Over the.
I want to circle back. Brody, my friend Brody loves that you don't like Hulk Hogan. He says, I bet Mr. Blackwell, I bet respects the European title.
I do, because the last European champion was Shawn Michaels, I believe. I believe Shawn Michaels retired that title, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he didn't.
No. No. It left and then came back with D'Lo and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, D'Lo, Shane, and Naked Midian.
Yeah, but I mean, like the first.
In fact, I think Naked Midian was Brody's right. Jeff Hardy was the last European champion, and then him and RVD had a unified ladder match in 2002 or 2003.
Yeah, but I yes, I am a European champion fan. I always loved the Intercontinental. Always loved the IC title. Yeah, I loved my mid cards.
So let's kind of get into this thing now that we're done talking about.
What was your gift? You're the last one.
Oh, I'll tell you what. My friend Matt had a wrestling ring, and it was fucking huge, dude. Like, you remember the bone crushing wrestling action figures, the ones that came out before the Titantron ones.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
So yeah, they came out right before the Titantron ones, because I knew exactly what you're talking about with the Titantron ones. When the Titantron ones very first came out, nobody looked like anybody. And then they started doing the real scan, and then they started to look fucking crazy stupid. Like, they looked exactly like them. But anyways, the bone crushing ones, they had a wrestling ring that was huge. I got the wrestling ring one year for Christmas, and I thought that was pretty awesome. It was so huge you could turn it upside. I turned it upside down to use it as a cage.
Mm-hmm. the classic blue and yellow ring for the first run of toys was my jam too.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Someone said in the chat too there was a Glow wrestling game. I did not know that existed, so I have to look into that. Somebody on my Twitch. I haven't used Twitch in forever, so the fact that someone's in my Twitch watching and hanging out, thank you. I haven't used this in forever, so it is coming back. So thank you for hanging out.
He said, was there ever a Glow wrestling game, and was there a hack to play as Elizabeth in any of the WWF games?
I think Elizabeth was. I could be wrong, but I think Elizabeth was in one of the WCW.
I think she was in Revenge.
I think she was in Revenge with Savage.
Yeah.
Don't remember. I'm gonna have to play it.
Yep.
I have the majority of the 64 games.
Fun fact: in the WCW and in the WWE ones, if you did the eye gouge, the eye rake, 3 times to a masked wrestler, it took their mask off.
Gonna have to test that later now.
Yep.
Kane would just have a black face.
I gotta test that shit now.
Burnt.
Which game?
Any of them. If they was a masked wrestler and you eye raked them 3 times, their mask would fall off.
I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but there was a portion in WCW NWO Revenge. We called it the Revenge Ass Rape, because if you did the single leg Boston Crab, if you did the single leg Boston Crab, he would turn around, the guy who was applying the single leg Boston Crab, and instead of doing it like this, he would be doing it to their backside and then making the noise. So Brody and my friends and I always called it the Revenge Ass Rape. So.
Here it is. Revenge Ass Rape.
Oh, okay, guy.
New finishing move. All right, let's get into bad booking. Thank you, guys. What were some of your favorite Christmas things? Put them in the chat. If there was a figure you were excited about getting, if a toy, what was the item you never got as a wrestling fan? For me, Shawn Michaels gloves. Never got the Shawn Michaels gloves, or the hat, or the jacket. So that's always kind of a little disappointment for me. But yeah,
every figure I've never owned.
Very true.
I was big in collecting the wrestling figures, and so anytime I opened it in a gift and I get a wrestling figure, I was like, man, fuck this holiday.
Vince
you get like a leash. He's taking notes on
that one.
Vince Torres is an actual wrestler. He wrestles at the Sanctuary. A good buddy of mine. Even though when I'm on commentary, I hate on him pretty heavily, but he's a good kid, and he will be on the ABJ podcast very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've
Are you done?
watched you on the Sanctuary on your when you've been on there, and they go live on YouTube, and it's very entertaining stuff. So
Wait till next year. I'm going full heel, and I think between me and Brian, me being heel and Brian doing his work, I think we are going to try to bring a new age version. I know this is big shoes to fill and a big thing to try to say you're going to do, but I think we're going to try to bring back the Gorilla Monsoon Bobby Heenan feel of commentary.
Oh,
Old shoes to fill, but I think we can do it.
okay.
yep. Before we get into this, I want to highlight a couple of things real quick. Number
I
one,
I don't have a replica belt. I want one as well.
yep,
Me too.
never got a replica belt. Funny story, Brody and my friend Stitch, we went to SmackDown one time, and Brody and Stitch bought the world title, and I didn't, and I was really bummed I didn't.
I don't know how you can become more unlikable, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Mick Thomason in the chat, guys.
He's
Mick
here.
Thomason. I
He's
love
here.
it.
Stay analyzing.
I'm glad he's here.
I opened a Roxanne Perez rookie card today,
Hell yeah, dude.
and
Do you know
Solo Sokoa?
she started the year off as the ROH Women's Champion, and she ended the year as the NXT Women's Champion.
Good for her.
Yep.
So keep winning titles, baby.
That's right. Jumping into this, the Hurt Business, guys. We weren't doing this show, or I don't think we were doing much of any shows when the Hurt Business was running amok in WWE at the beginning of the year. They were an extremely popular team
that we're never taken seriously.
Never taken seriously, and that somebody in creative just said it's not good shit, and we're just going to get rid of it.
Silly.
Stupid.
And they cut it.
It's the only time I ever gave a shit about Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna be honest.
Agreed.
When Bobby Lashley was with the Hurt Business, I actually cared about what Bobby Lashley was doing.
I agree. I want to think. You know when else I like Bobby Lashley? When Leo was his manager.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because Bobby looks like a world champion. He looks like a world beater. In the ring, he's very talented, fun to watch. But personality-wise, I can never get behind when he grabs a mic or when he's solo. I cannot.
Yep.
He just doesn't do it for me.
He doesn't do it for me either. I mean,
so this was I will piggyback off of that and say this is the only time that I gave a shit about Bobby Lashley since returning to WWE. I liked Bobby Lashley before he left. Now ABJ, I know you weren't watching wrestling that much. That's because you didn't ask him to sign your belt, you dipshit.
Cool.
Anyways, Brody, he said he didn't sign my belt. And that's because you didn't ask him to sign your belt, you fucking idiot. Anyways, I
loved when he was flexing the butt. When Bobby Lashley was doing the poses with Leo, it was amazing.
Yes, and Leo's amazing in general.
New Leo IWGP Super Junior Weight Tag Team Champions.
Yeah. Leo is a fantastic. I don't know what happened with him at AEW, but it was very unfortunate. So
he was having a little bit of an injury bug problem there for a minute, and I think mentally it was messing with him.
Yeah. God damn, my Stream Elements is putting in work tonight. Maybe I like it. Guys, make sure you're paying attention to the Stream Elements, putting out the Linktree link in there and the link to the Discord, guys. Gonna have lots of fun in the Discord coming in the new year. Gonna be doing watch parties. And if you are a subscriber to the Twitch, we will have premium watch parties for events and stuff like that. Saturate the market. Brody knows, my man.
There's also my Discord, just not a piggyback, but we're really close to 100 members, and we do some fun stuff too. You can join both Discords. It's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm part of both Discord. They're pretty dope.
Yes, they are.
We have a hunter in our Discord who does game nights. Just put it on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
So
is MVP teasing a return, trying to talk about Bobby Lashley? What do you guys think?
I would be into it. To me, the Discord, the Hurt Business was the closest thing we had to a modern day Nation of Domination, and I wanted it, and we just didn't get it. Could you imagine if the Hurt Business was like getting traction and becoming popular, and then like a Sami Zayn joined the Hurt Business, like the Owen Hart version?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Hurt Business was great, dude. I mean, I kind of wish they came back. I mean, the whole pairing with, when MVP left and turned on Bobby Lashley and paired with Omos, that was a complete failure. I'm a
You know
big
how I would
Omos
book the new
hater.
Hurt Business Nation of Domination?
Let's do it. Fantasy booking by ABJ. Here we go.
I would bring Bobby back in. I'd bring Cedric back in. I'd bring MVP back in. I would have MVP bring Omos into the Hurt Business. I think I would bring Shelton in, and I would bring a tag team in.
To make it huge, you want to bring it that big, huh?
And the reason I would bring the tag team in is because I would have the Hurt Business go on a pretty nice run and win some gold. But my tag team I would add to the Hurt Business is I would make them a more serious team, get rid of the campiness about them, and I would add the Street Profits to the Hurt Business. And I would make Montez Ford your rock, where he slowly becomes the main draw, the one everybody wants, and eventually outshines the group and leaves.
I think that might be the way to go. I wouldn't be mad at that because, I mean, everyone's been wanting Montez to, leave anyway, and I feel like right now they don't really have much to do, so I'd be all for
And
it.
then you can put like a his partner with like a Cedric, and I don't think he would miss a beat as a tag team wrestler.
Yep. Yeah.
I like it.
We drop
I'm
Omos,
just
so it's not too crowded. But that would be I would put the Street Profits with the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Omos, so
Yeah.
everything is great of what you said. No Omos. I'll pass.
well because we know Mark doesn't like big guys, so
I just said
Mark
I like
hates
Bobby
big-
Lashley
Mark
when he's with the Hurt Business.
Mark hates big guys.
You don't like big
so
meaty men slapping meat.
Nah, I'm good.
um
I'm good.
So like I said, or like we talked about, the Hurt Business was obviously over like Rover last year. They made the decision to disband them. I mean, they are hinting towards it. And I guess like I would piggyback off that question and piggyback off of that with a question by saying, are we seeing so much of, since Triple H has came back, and Triple H has been very, he's got very Vince-esque, very business-esque answers to all these questions. He still dances around the NXT Black and Gold and AEW thing. He still, downplays it and everything. And he told Ariel Helwani that him and Vince had a discussion before before the transition of power. And Vince told him, Vince compared it to ice cream. Like, hey, like I've gotten to choose the flavors. Everybody loves ice cream. I've gotten to choose the flavors of ice cream for the past 30, 40 years. And it's like, now it's your turn to choose the flavors of ice cream.
That mint chocolate chip for the last 2 years has been fucking terrible. Let's hope we don't put that one back on the menu.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, is this,
If you like mint chocolate chip, you're a psychopath. If you want to eat toothpaste, go for it.
I'm good.
Wow. Anyways,
my wife loves mint chocolate chip.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I like mint cookies and cream, not mint chocolate chip.
Disgusting too.
It's the same thing. You're eating spearmint ice cream. It's gross.
Anyways, so all I'm saying is, is this more of a clear picture that Vince or that Triple H obviously did not agree with what Vince was doing last year?
Yeah,
I think
he's
writing
a lot
wrongs.
of his talent got buried.
Yeah. He's righting wrongs. That's what he's been doing, I feel like. And I think if he is, in fact, bringing the Hurt Business was great. So he might be righting another wrong there. That was money. Yep. Another faction. So I'm all about factions. I'm a big faction guy.
I'm still holding out faith. I think Sanity comes back. I think we get Sanity back. I think
Sanity's coming too. Yep.
And I think I think the staples of wrestling coming back, and I'm pretty pumped for it. I'm excited for stables again.
Me too. Big stable and faction guy. I love it.
Speaking of stables and factions, the Bloodline wreaking havoc on the roster. I know Mark kind of put this down, and I thought about skipping over this, but I did want to bring it up because
it's a good storyline point.
It is because we saw pretty pivotal point, and we're getting closer. You know, Friday we get the tag match between Cena and
That's
um,
right.
we get Cena and KO against Roman and Sami Zayn. How is this going to play out?
I think right now, especially on the Uso side of things and the bloodline, I think they're picking too many fights with too many people. And 9 times out of 10, when stables start going after too many people at one time, that's usually the indication where they're going to start having some problems as a team.
Yep.
When the Undisputed Era start picking too many fights with people, is when they started having that transition of power from losing all their titles and not being the top dogs. And I think we're slowly starting to see where the bloodline is not just focusing on one guy, but Kevin Owens is when they're going after the entire roster. And also, I am prepared for Friday with my Pabst Blue Ribbon version of John Cena, baby. My discontinued T-shirt.
All right.
Yeah, I found that on eBay.
Nice. Nice.
Mark, how are you booking this on Friday, man? Is
Um,
this a is this a tease on Friday, or are we going full blown um uh Sammy out of the bloodline on Friday?
I don't think he's out, but I think a
no,
seed
no,
gets
no, no,
planted.
no. Yeah, a seed definitely gets planted. Cena and KO go over Zayn and Reigns. And
I'm a
like
loud
he said,
whistler, Scott.
oh, and like ABJ said, they're picking too many fights at one time. It's gonna come bite him in the ass. And I feel like Roman's gonna be like not too happy. He might get something eventually down the line, but like you guys are, you guys got to ring it in. He's gonna try to ring it in, but I think it's gonna start the dissension as we get closer to Royal Rumble and going into WrestleMania season. That's when we're gonna start seeing a lot of dissension amongst them.
We literally have
I'm
been watching the tag team division fight everybody else except who the tag team champions are, and now the tag team champions are picking fight with every single tag team in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There it is. We're getting the shape up again of what can be the tag, because there's a lot of tag teams now. With more coming back, it's gonna be very fun once Mania season's over and Triple H can finally hit that reset button and do his own storylines.
For sure, I
So
agree with you
I'm gonna
100%.
be in the minority here, guys. I think it happens on Friday. I think that I think that you're going to watch Sammy. There's going to come a point in the match on Friday night. It's the last SmackDown of the year. We're headed into Rumble season. Um, all of this stuff that ABJ just mentioned, the Great Reset, they've got to start getting this stuff rolling, and I think it starts on Friday. I think there's going to come a point in the match where Sammy's going to have to make a decision to hit KO again, and there's going to be a stall, and it's going to cost them the match. And Roman is going to hug Sammy's going to be crying and apologize that they cost him the match, and blah blah blah. And Roman's going to hug him and console him. Turn around, boom, Superman punch. Sami Zayn's out, and it starts on Friday.
I think it's too abrupt.
What if Sammy takes the bullet again for Roman? Where Roman's about to take something, Sammy intervenes, takes it for Roman, or Roman is not having it for the match, steps off the apron and walks away, and watch Sammy gets 2-on-1. And Sammy's like, "Yo, man, ooh, so what are we doing? I thought we were family. You're leaving me hanging out to dry." And Sammy starts putting together that he's not one of them. And
I
Roman
I,
never has to touch Sammy for it to happen.
I
Yep.
see that happening over Roman, doing a Superman punch or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. If something like that happens, but I still think it's too abrupt. I think it's just gonna slowly happen. I don't think it's gonna be a full blown. Yeah, he's already out. I think it'd be
Yep.
too abrupt for that to happen.
I think they pulled the trigger on Friday, and I think it leaves Sammy in limbo for the next couple weeks because Sammy's going to be like, "Where do I belong? I don't fit in anywhere." And then because it's gonna take time. He turned his back on Kevin, and Kevin he's not. We're not going to watch the bloodline turn on Sammy,
I
and
think
then
I think
Kevin
it
just
happens. I think it happens at Rumble. I think
yeah.
somebody in the bloodline eliminates Sammy at Rumble.
Yeah, and that's when it really kicks off. Merry Christmas, A-OK.
I think it's one of the Usos.
Yep.
Yep.
I could see that Steven Chambers as well. I could see
Which one of the Usos was it? Was it which one hated Sammy? Was it Jay or Jimmy?
Jimmy.
I think Jimmy
Jimmy or
would.
Jay, I don't know. I can't keep a track of
One
it.
of whoever was hated Sammy, I think that's the person that
Whoever has the
eliminated
mullet.
Sammy, and you finally maybe eventually get a match between those two. Because I feel like that's eventually going to happen. You'll get that one-on-one.
Sammy is not
Yeah.
beating Roman for the title. Roman will excommunicate him from the bloodline, but the Usos will be the reason they are excommunicated. And then Sammy puts his mistrust and his hate more towards the Usos than he does Roman, because Roman's plan is Cody Rhodes for Rumble. I mean, for
As
Mania.
as much as everyone would love, as fans would love to see Sammy take, the title off of Roman, that is so out there. That's like saying Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. All that fan fiction.
I
My
love Sammy's
man.
love
just
love
saying.
Sammy to death. I'd love to be a world champion, but as long as he's a goofy, fun character, they don't put world titles on those characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Bronson Reed returning.
Fucking love it. One
So
of
there's
the
a
nicest human beings I've ever got to work with.
so so there's a lot of flack on the internet
Stupid.
about WWE haters, man. Yeah, they're everywhere. And that's fine, like everybody enjoys their own cup of tea, but to blindly make up or reach for these things, everybody's like, Jonah was just wrestling in New Japan and beat Okada, and now he's the Miz's lackey. Like, come on.
Listen, beating Okada in a tournament is not a huge, like, people lose in Japan tournaments. No one goes undefeated in tournaments.
My whole thing has nothing to do with Bronson Reed, because I love Bronson Reed and I think it's a phenomenal sign. I'm glad he's back. I feel like Miz just never gets what he deserves. I feel like he's just constantly doing this. Like for the past two WrestleManias, all right, let's go to Miz real quick. For the past two WrestleManias, he was basically limited to celebrity duty, right? Or he has a lackey that will eventually turn on him. Like Miz just never gets the push or the guy he deserves. Like I understand that he's a mid card guy and will probably beat Jericho's Intercontinental Championship, but I think Miz is so much more and he's so valuable to WWE. He just gets regulated to the same old shit, and that's what I don't like.
He's so valuable that his storylines are usually some of the most fun storylines in the business. And anyone you put with him, he finds a way to make it work. I know some people aren't into this Dexter Loomis thing. Dude, him and Gargano's matches coming back in, Gargano's a good fit for the Miz. If you're entering a company and you want your name out there and they say you're going to work the Miz in a program, take that, because Miz is going to work his ass off to make your program good and make it fun. And Jonah, as everyone's already speculating when he turns on, when Bronson turns on Miz, and that's right already. You already realize that Miz is going to be a launching point for Bronson Reed.
Oh yeah, of course.
You want to be booked with the Miz.
So I'm going to respectfully disagree with you, Mark.
Okay.
I think, don't get me wrong, I love Miz. Didn't love him for the first few years, but
neither did I.
Miz would have been a world champion if
I was a Miz hater.
If Shane McMahon did not want to stick his nose in that storyline, Miz was the most over babyface in the company, and we should have had a Miz babyface title run, and Shane McMahon took it from him.
Agreed.
Because Shane McMahon's an ego fucking maniac and ruins wrestling.
That promo on Talking Smack to Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, bro. I want
motherfuckers to tell me that the Miz isn't good. Like, so I can be like,
Miz and Maurice as John Cena and Brie Bella. That was money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Miz cutting a promo on Bryan Danielson, and like, you guys know me, I'm the first one to make fun of wrestling fans when they go, is it a work? Is it not? Like, come on, you stupid idiots. Nobody's going to let somebody walk out with a microphone. But bro, like, I watched that Miz promo and I'm like,
100%
this motherfucker might be shooting.
Oh yeah.
100%
oh,
shoot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Him and Brian both said that was 100. And Renee was like, no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of that was
you
not
could see that
placed.
in Renee's face though. Renee was just
Yeah.
like, yo, like what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
Miz is an MJF poser. You're high. Miz is 1,000 times better than MJF. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say 1,000, but they are respectfully in their own categories.
I think something
I
that
think
I would
Miz
like
is more
to see,
creative than the Miz.
so
And Miz is more creative than MJF in promos.
I think ABJ might have a point there because everything that the Miz does is done with limitations.
Yep.
So to see him, like, if they just be like, "Hey, we're gonna take you," I would love to see a Miz MJF exchange and Triple H just be like, "You know what?
Miz
Go
can
after
have
him.
here's a great
Go after
point.
him."
Did you ever watch Miz's interaction with kids at autograph signings and meet and greets?
No.
Where he literally goes to the kid, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" And he says, "Kofi Kingston." And he goes, "I will not sign your autograph if you don't say I'm your favorite wrestler." And the kid goes, so one more time. So he interacts with the kid as a heel, but doesn't have to curse, doesn't have to whip the kid off, doesn't have to do the low-hanging fruit saying that you're a fucking piece of shit. Like all that MJF stuff is good, but it's easy. That's the easy heel shit to do. When you can do that creatively and not do that, if MJF can break out of that and be entertaining without having to go for the low hanging fruit every time, I'll give. I think MJF's very talented, but MJF is a clear cut version of a let's do a Piper / Miz.
I mean, a lot of people keep talking about like number one, like let's revert back to me talking about wrestling fans being marks or like wrestling fans being ignorant about what's a work and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
MJF is not going to WWE.
No, not at all.
Like it's, the war of 2024 is not going to happen, guys. It's
Happy holidays,
MJF
Savage.
is MJF is obviously staying in AEW because MJF wouldn't work in WWE.
No,
It wouldn't happen. So
my buddy Brian said it the best. MJF promos are last dick's resort humor. When you walk in and they go, "You're fat," like they just look at you and they just pick out your flaws and then make fun of you for said flaws instead of being intricate and finding out what is the actual way that they can insult you without doing it. What's his name just did a whole thing on Busted Open Radio, and I know he's doing it just trying to make himself relevant, but unscripted, promo for promo, man versus man, microphone, who wins in a battle, Enzo or MJF? I think Enzo fucking cooks MJF.
I think I'm going
as a
MJF,
face,
dude.
as a baby face.
Just insult for insult, whatever they want to do.
I think I'm going MJF.
You take
Enzo would crush MJF.
Give me 2016 black and gold Enzo Amore with
Dude, give me fucking 205 live Enzo when he fucking roasts the whole roster going around the ring. When his intro when he made fun of the Dudley Boys, Enzo is so much more creative at his insults and his he literally treats a promo like a bar, like bars. Enzo did not knock himself out hitting the ropes. He was thrown into the ropes a little too hard by a guy who didn't like him and was trying to possibly hurt him.
Yeah.
Not great in the ring, but you give that guy a fucking microphone.
I love Enzo, man. I miss him. I would love to see him on mainstream television again, bro.
Yeah,
I would too.
Talk about another misstep, in WWE, dude. There's no reason why they shouldn't have been tag team champions, bro.
That was a misstep. I thought you were going to say why WWE didn't release him, and I'll touch on that real quick. Yeah. I'll touch on that real quick, and then we'll move on. I don't think it's okay. Number one, if you've done it, you're a piece of shit. But to accuse somebody of doing it and then waiting until after they get fired and then dropping charges, I'm not okay with that. That's not okay. Because you're playing with people's careers. You're playing. Why
essentially Enzo was possibly like real legit reason why he was probably cut. Also very, very vocal backstage. Cass was going through his mental problems. He just broke up with Carmella. Carmella was now dating somebody who was higher up in the company, politicking, and Enzo was Enzo. A lot of people didn't like him. He shot his mouth off. He was essentially when the Miz cut a promo on Enzo and said, "Dude, I see so much of you in me. They don't let you in the locker room. You're not allowed on the bus. You're not." That was me at one point in time. That was 100% Enzo.
Yeah. and that's fine. But I mean, like
That's his only
when
problem.
those
He has an attitude in that aspect.
when those allegations came out, boom, he was done.
The allegations were
Um,
just the tipping point to be like, fine, we can finally get rid of this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And also, Cass
because
was very, very big on Trump, and that was not a very big talking point backstage with a lot of people either.
that's really weird to me, considering the fact that his wife
Oh,
was on Trump's cabinet.
the ownership of the company loves them some Trump, but the roster itself, not everyone's very big Trump guys.
Yeah. But you know, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. I think I think the allegations were a tipping point and were just an
Yeah.
excuse to get rid of him.
Mhm.
Because let's look at how long was Velveteen Dream left on the roster after his allegations came out?
Like I said, and this is not MJF hate. I don't hate MJF. He's very
Oh, yeah.
entertaining, and I have a blast watching him. But 9 times out of 10, when MJF's guy walks down to the ring and he's going to cut a promo, I can probably tell you his 6 talking points that he's going to say to make fun of him, because he's just it's very for me anyway. It's very easy to be like, oh, that's probably what he's going to go after. And there's always a thing that the Mark fans go, ooh, he said it. That's fourth wall breaking. It's just, I don't know.
Grayson Waller. I wanted to. I was hoping that Mark would be present for this.
Yes.
I'm here.
Did you just take a bump?
Try and wake up.
Jesus
you
Christ,
crazy?
Tony Khan. I don't know. As soon as your camera turned on, I saw you go like this, and you were like,
There's nothing here, buddy.
That's because you got it all.
yeah.
Would I pay money to go see The Miz? 100%. And if you say you wouldn't, you're a liar.
Grayson Waller.
Miz is fantastic.
I love Grayson Waller, dude. I kind of hope he does.
Is he the one to dethrone Braun?
I don't know if he is. I really can't. I could go either way, but he would be my number one pick to dethrone Braun, because I feel like it's time for a heel champion in NXT, something different. I think it'd be cool to see Braun chasing for a little bit and see what Grayson can do. I think Grayson Waller is extremely talented. The guy cooks great promos. The guy gets a lot of heel heat. I like it. So I think it should be Waller's time. Not that I'm getting tired of Braun Breaker. But I would just like to see him out of the championship for a little bit and see what he can do.
Interesting bit of information possibly coming out is there's an NXT contract coming up really quick, very soon. And people are speculating if he resigns, does he get a push, or that he's going to let him go? Because it's kind of like when you get a contract renewal, either you're going to get some work or you're going to get no work. And I'm sorry, not an NXT one. I lied. An Impact person who may be leaving Impact, who I think would be a really good fit for the NXT brand to kind of come in and get his feet wet. I think he would fit very well in the WWE system, but Sami Callihan might be coming up as a free agent soon. Very entertaining. He's not someone I don't think would stick very hard in the main roster, but he's someone I think would do very well.
I think he would do well in NXT, but if he ever comes in the main roster, I feel like he'd just be lost.
Yes, he would be lost in the main roster. That's what I'm saying. I don't think NXT is something right now where you're like, well, we're waiting for the call up. We're waiting for the call up. That's kind of what made Black and Gold good. Like, call ups didn't come. You don't win a world title and then automatically get called up.
No, yeah, I agree. I think it's going. I don't think Braun. Like, say Braun does lose.
Yes, he was in NXT as Solomon Crow.
Yeah.
And he did great as Solomon Crow.
So let's go with that
really
hypothetical.
Reinvented himself, going back to Impact and making a name for himself.
Let's go with that hypothetical. I don't think that if Breaker loses, he's going to get called up. I think Breaker
not
needs
at
to stay
all.
for like a year, because NXT is going back on the road. And that's a big thing. With NXT going back on the road, you're going to need those stars to stay there. So Sami Callihan coming and another guy that could basically, they're going to bring NXT back as its own brand again, as opposed to its developmental, no problem.
There's no one on NXT right now that I would call up that I think would right now do well on main roster with all the storylines they have going on.
No, I agree right now. Like I said, right now you're going to keep everything that's there, everything they have. I think, what's his name? The kid's got it. Melo's got it. I think Melo's a superstar as well. I don't think it's.
But they can't use their flying fun guys right now on the main roster, and he would go up and just be another Ricochet, and he'd be another Cedric Alexander. He'd be
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I as much as I hate overloading the titles, I think unifying the cruiserweight was a bad move. That would have been good as well. That's just me though.
I don't think the roster right now in NXT is bad. I just think
It's
they need to
not.
change the tempo, the feel, put some good
It's not.
storylines together. I think the New Day going down to NXT was a great fucking idea.
It helps, like I said, NXT is going back on the road. It helps having these tag teams. You have a couple factions there that's going on right now. You know, you bring a guy like Sammy Callahan, he could bring a little more spark to them since they are traveling. Another guy, you'll be interested to see his character as well. Braun Breaker's not going to go anywhere. You know, say Grayson Waller becomes champion, which I don't think he does. I hope he does, but I don't think he does. Having those stars sell, you know, trying to bring them as they do travel on the road, trying to legitimize themselves as their own brand again. You know, I would like to see them next year. You know, like a couple years ago, they were their Survivor Series. You know, we are NXT. They were coming in, they were involved, and they were acknowledging them as their own brand. And I think
Yeah.
that's what Triple H is eventually. His vision is going to be doing
Steven
all that.
Chambers, I would not put NXT in big arenas right now. I'd put them in smaller ones.
Yeah, no,
They don't need to be in big arenas right now. You know,
no,
Dude, what made NXT special is they kept it on TV in that small intimate crowd where the people there all the time, and they commit to the character, they commit to the storylines, and they cheer and give the people the reaction at home of what the product needs to be. So when they go on the road, the characters and everything are developed because of the hometown crowd always puts it over. I would actually keep NXT for the most part where it's at, and then just travel for takeovers. Like, you know what I mean? Small things here and there.
I'll probably maybe do like a little territory, so like stay
Yeah,
within
I
the
do a
Florida
small territory.
area.
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah,
are
that's what
kind
I
of
would
doing
do.
that now with the people who are not TV ready NXT people. They kind of have them doing like small territory runs. And what's her name just recently? They just announced she's really hurt now and she's going to be out even longer. Who's the gymnast girl, the blonde? Stratton?
Oh yeah, man, Tiffany Stratton. Yeah,
Dude, she's going to be
that
if she
sucks,
can get her
dude.
injury stuff taken care of, I think she's going to be a mega star.
I thought they were running vignettes for her already.
She's hurt. Yeah.
Oh,
Frightful just announced it. She's hurt.
damn.
Yeah.
Um.
And
Uh.
Chelsea Green has deleted and deactivated her OnlyFans amidst possible rumors of returning to WWE.
She's
Let's.
coming back. It's a
Yeah.
done deal. They're
Another
both
woman
back.
who would be
They're both back.
amazing on NXT.
Absolutely. Want to give a shout out to ABJ's YouTube. I see Lisa Osborne and of course Stephen Chambers as always, and Everett Lee. Appreciate you guys coming in and chatting with us and
Thank you so
hanging
much.
out with
Yeah.
us on Christmas night, guys. So
For sure.
quite
Merry
the
Christmas,
quite the crowd
everybody.
for Christmas night.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Real quick, cheap plug here. I'm at 368. I'm 2 subscribers away from 370. My goal by the end of the month is 400. So if you are watching on any other channel or you are watching, hit share, put it on Facebook, Twitter, and just be like, hey, really cool channel. Can we help this guy out? His goal is 400 subscribers. Just I may get 2 out of it, but it's better than 0. Support always helps out. And if you are watching on anything, make sure you hit likes and subscribes to any channels. We're live right now on CR Media on Twitch. Pro Wrestling Kingpin on Twitch, my Facebook, CR Media's Facebook, and CR Media and mine YouTube. So just go check that stuff out.
Absolutely, guys. If you are a friend of mine or a follower of mine, you guys are not following ABJ on YouTube, please go do so. ABJ has some fantastic wrestling, not just wrestling. He has fantastic interviews that he does.
Oh, there's so much more content coming next year. Movie reviews, TV reviews, video game reviews. I'm doing a horror movie show with my wife coming up soon. We're bringing back beer content where I'm going to go to breweries and do some fun stuff. I am bringing back everything that I did and more on my old 4 channels on this new network, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, I am completely booked for the month of January for interviews. And not just one interview. Chase, ready to hear this? Not just one interview every Tuesday the entire month. I'm double booking myself the entire month. So you're going to get interview in the afternoon and you're going to get interview at night every Tuesday the entire month of January.
I don't hate it. I love it.
Awesome,
I
dude.
don't
Good
hate
for
it.
you. Congrats, bro.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
So I know we harp on Mr. Tony Khan a lot, and rightfully so. But I want to make sure that we're fair about how much we harp, because if you've noticed the changes in NXT since the change of power, um, and there's some tidbits to throw in there. Number one, Triple H called NXT its own brand when they did Survivor Series 2019, right? Um, Pretty sure Adam Cole beat Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, who was the SmackDown World Champion at the time, prior to Survivor Series, and then Keith Lee and Roman Reigns were the two final sole survivors in that Survivor Series match. So, like I said, just little tidbits there. And now, when Hunter talks, Hunter mentions that it's a developmental brand. When Ariel Helwani talks about the Wednesday Night Wars or the Tuesday Night Wars, whatever they were, no Wednesday night. He mentions, congratulations, y'all beat our developmental brand. Well, hold on, Hunter. A year ago you called them its own brand, and he used COVID as an excuse. COVID halted everything. They couldn't do this during COVID. They couldn't do that during COVID. So that's why they had to redo the thing. Not coming out and legitimately saying that Vince and Bruce were the reason why NXT 2.0 was
So
born.
you ever see the Keenan Peele skit where President Obama has the guy who talks for him because Obama can't say that? So what Triple H wanted to say was, "Congratulations, you didn't beat my NXT. You beat his NXT." And even though NXT
But it was his NXT.
was losing, yeah, but he was starting to lose his power then.
No, he wasn't.
Towards the end, I think they were.
He lost his power. He lost his power after they lost to AEW.
I will say this: going back to those head-to-head wins, back-to-back Wednesday head-for-heads. When we were doing the early episodes of Tornado Attack podcast, I said, you know what? It's another week where I think AEW is the fun watch because it's brand new stories, brand new characters, brand new things we've never seen before because it's new and fresh. But when you break it down match versus match and what had better match quality, NXT was dominating every week. The match quality on NXT was beating the match quality of AEW in the early days.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
AEW is doing the same match quality they did when they started as they do now. They rely too much on spot fest matches.
Now I 100% agree.
They have not evolved since.
No, I agree with you. The matches are entertaining on AEW. I'm pretty entertained with every show. I know ABJ hates the shit out of it. Yeah. However, ABJ
I think storylines right now are really weak.
100%. 100% a point that now they rely a lot on those big spots.
Yeah, because we can
all
harp
on free TV all the time.
I can harp on the best of 7 series all I want, but to deny the fact that it's not magic when those guys get in the ring together is asinine. You'd be lying to yourself. It is. It's great stuff.
Yeah, Finn Balor's NXT title run during that was really good as Prince Devitt.
Oh, Prince Devitt.
Yeah.
It was Finn Balor.
It was Finn Balor.
But he was doing the Prince.
He was the Prince Devitt stuff.
Yeah. The demon stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not demon. Just heel. He was heel.
Prince Devitt. You're talking about when he came back. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned on Johnny Gargano and did that brain buster to Johnny Gargano on the steel. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
roster was so fucking good.
Yes.
Black and gold roster at its height was hands down probably the best era of wrestling in a long time.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Followed by Lucha Underground. I don't care what anybody says. Lucha Underground was fucking dope. That was so fucking fun to watch. It was. If you haven't watched it, please go back and do it.
Yeah.
What streaming service is it on?
It was on Netflix. Is it still on Netflix?
No, I'm not sure if it still is.
I think it's free on Pluto TV.
All right, I got that. I've always been meaning to check it out. I just never had the time.
Honestly, you know what I think killed AEW? Putting 2 titles on Keith Lee. Sometimes people think they won a champion, then they give them a championship, and their title reign is not as good as people anticipated.
Which I think is kind of. Or are you talking about NXT?
Yeah,
in general,
he meant to say NXT. He said that
NXT. Yeah, when they
NXT,
put double titles on Keith Lee, I think people were like, "Ooh, I'm not into this storyline right now." That's my fear right now in AEW. Everybody clamored for a title run. Yeah, but when he had the double titles for a while, I think that's when it started plummeting because I think
he won the NXT championship, and then the following week he gave the North American one up.
Yes, but I'm saying Keith Lee's title run was one of the downfalls, I think, of NXT towards the end. I think
I can agree with that.
I think people wanted it, and then when they got it, they're like,
I don't think it was Keith Lee. Do you know who I think it was?
Huh.
Who beat Keith Lee for the title?
I don't remember.
Cross?
Yeah. Was it Cross?
Yeah. I thought Cross's run was kind of fun, but I thought their chemistry wasn't good.
Hey, I will put this out there right now. I love Cross, but I'm the only one. He does nothing for anybody else.
Yeah.
I love Scarlett.
The NXT crowd, the WWE crowd.
You know what the biggest problem with Cross
they're
right
not
now
into
is?
him.
He's on fucking SmackDown. Why would you put Cross on SmackDown right now with Bray Wyatt? Too much spooky in one show.
I'm sorry, man. Like I love Cross. Number one, they need to shave his head bald again.
No, I like the hair. Love the hair. Love it.
He's got to go bald again. And then two, like I said, I'm the only one in the crowd going, Cross is back. Cross is back. You go back to his debut. That SmackDown crowd was. I mean, Jesus, we know you pipe in crowd noise. The least you could have done was pipe in some crowd noise. For
his debut was very. They debuted him to go to the top of the company, and then he didn't go to the like. He came in to challenge the top, then didn't challenge the top.
Then he never.
You know what, Roman? I changed my mind. I'm going after the guy with no title. Like, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
I think it's slowly become when that rumor came out that Triple H was underwhelmed by some of his talent. I think Cross was on that list, guys. I really do.
He is on that list, but that's not all his fault either. They, like ABJ said, they brought him back in like he was going to go after Roman, and then he was like, "Nah, just kidding."
Because that's how Hunter sees him. Hunter sees him as the big top guy, and the crowd doesn't.
What about this? Cross, if this Rey Mysterio thing don't pan out, he's the one who dethrones Braun Breaker.
Go back to NXT.
Go down to NXT and help develop that brand. He's not gonna like as long as he's on SmackDown. He cannot be the spooky paranormal guy with Bray Wyatt doing Captain Howdy poopy pants. You can't put two of those guys on one show. One will not go over.
I mean, but NXT has the spooky shit too. You got
way too much.
Her name. I forgot her name.
Way too much.
But
the lady that made the referee spit black.
Yeah, I forget her name. She's feuding with Alba Fire right now.
Fire.
And then you got Schism, and then it's like you got all.
I think if you're gonna make him not paranormal and spooky, move him down to NXT and just let him be a killer.
Joe Gacy's the shit. Joe Gacy and Schism. Joe Gacy and Schism in CCW was fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. And then now, and the fact that they've got Ava Rain, The Rock's daughter, as kind of like their cult leader.
Our move crossover to Raw.
Yeah. Yep. Let's move on. Let's talk about do we care about Dominic Mysterio getting arrested for crashing Christmas?
I thought it was fun. We don't have to talk about it, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I think Dom's on fire right now. So
yeah.
He's on fire until they put a microphone in front of him in a live crowd.
Yeah.
And then he goes for Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna beat you up. I mean, that impression kind of sounded like Brock Lesnar for a little bit.
That's fucking. Yeah, holds up Uno's
skip card for Dominic. Hunter fucking kills me with that.
Love that.
I don't know if you can catch the AEW Dynamite post show, ABJ, but when we invite guests on like we used to, Hunter came on, and the first thing you saw when Hunter turned on his camera was he had the
Uno's skip card.
Yeah, he goes, "This is for most of the show."
Is Dominic really getting heat though? Does anyone care that he's going after his dad? Are they more entertained because he's in Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley's
No. So I agree with you. Dom is not getting heat because he's going after his dad.
Do we really want to see Dom versus Rey Mysterio? Do we think that's going to be a good match?
No, Ray wants that. Ray wants.
It's gonna be a match at WrestleMania. You're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm actually all for it. Only, I think we talked about this before, but I went very dark with it. Only if number one Dom, I almost call him Don. If Dom obviously goes over and retires his dad, but I want him to just like when he beats him, just rip off that fucking mask and just be like, "Yeah, you're done." You know, I want some ruthless fucking Dom. But if it's like, "Oh yeah, I beat my dad," and then that's like, okay.
I just think he is an awful. I don't like him I don't think he's doing a very good job as a heel. And I said that when they were going to do the heel turn, I was like, he's too soft to be a heel. He does even when he's doing bad guy stuff, it's just like, oh, it's adorable. You know that one kid in the group of bullies who acts like the tough guy, bad guy, but like if he gets caught by the Chicha, he runs and hides, but he actually has a group of tough friends around him. That's Dom to me. Yeah. Dom is playing the role of a heel, but he can't quite pull it off yet.
Bray Wyatt suspended.
What does this
Was
do
that
to the
officially?
story?
What was
No,
that
no, no, no,
officially
no.
announced?
It's not official. I put it there. I put it like it was he suspended because they said that what's his name? He said he was talking to
Adam
you
Pierce.
know yeah, Adam Pierce was talking to officials on the correct course of action.
Yep.
But then you're here firing Bobby Lashley. So I mean, I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
this whole Bray Wyatt thing. Like I know a
I
lot of
think
people are like,
what
oh, be patient and all this stuff, and it's like, bro,
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna do the meme.
we already
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Just
We
go
already
ahead.
know. It's like no, but to answer your question, no, it was not official. That was me like putting like
Okay.
okay, like it's suspended.
Well, if you're gonna
like,
fire
what's
one guy
the-
for
So-
beating up non-WWE talent as a Bobby Lashley, like a fake fire, or
Right,
fake
right.
suspended, and he attacks a cameraman, I mean,
Yeah,
you got to
you
be
gotta fire
consistent,
him.
right?
Yeah, you
gotta
got to
be-
fire him or suspended him. So it's like, what
And
does that do to
suspend
the
him
story?
because then we don't have to watch the same promo every week, and then you can prolong the
All the
storyline
suspense, the whole
because the
thing.
suspense is making it better of watching him do the same promo every week.
So so I think what you'll get is you'll get LA Knight being the good guy and being like, no, don't suspend him. I want to beat his ass. And then challenge him to a match at Royal Rumble.
And losing.
Yeah.
And then we probably never see LA
As he
Knight
should.
again.
As he should.
LA Knight, I think, has so much fucking potential.
He does.
That's great.
You know,
And he has great potential, but he's not gonna he shouldn't fucking lose to the returning Bray Wyatt. Like, what?
Is it a return when it takes you fucking 9.5 months to wrestle?
Hey, trust the process.
Fuck the process.
Trust the process.
it's
I hear
I'm
y'all talk
all
about
about
long-term
storytelling, but I mean,
yeah,
come on, bro.
until it doesn't fit, until it doesn't just fit what you want. So
I
you're all about
mean-
long-term storytelling until it doesn't fit what you want.
Tell
Been
me
a
the story
long
being
time,
told.
dude.
Tell me the story being told.
He has split personalities.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Well, a physical version of Cowdy Happy Poopy Pants came walking out.
I
So is
told
it
you
split personalities?
I told you he is projecting the monsters in his head.
No,
into
you're
real
fan
life.
theorying like everybody else. We
No,
have
I'm
no
not.
idea.
You said it
I really-
yourself. There's no fucking way that is Bo Dallas at 5'8" in that fucking hootie poopy doody outfit. So
Yeah, I don't. Every week, everyone's like, "Oh, we got more to the story." I'm like, "No, we fucking didn't. Nothing else was added to this."
do you know what I think? Honestly, I think he's not ring ready. I think he's not in ring shape, and I think that's why they're doing this.
I don't think he's ever been ring ready.
I mean,
That's ridiculous.
What's your
At
favorite
this
Bray
That is
Wyatt match?
absolutely ridiculous.
What's your favorite Bray Wyatt match that did involve Daniel Bryan?
I have quite a few.
Name
Him
one.
versus Kane. The Wyatt family versus the Shield.
Oh, so when there's
One-on-one.
more people in the ring to distract the fact that
One-on-one,
Bray's not.
one-on-one.
Tell me what your favorite one-on-one Bray Wyatt match is that doesn't have to deal with Daniel Bryan.
And no gimmicks, no gimmick matches.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, because
What about all those bangers with Braun Strowman?
Are you talking about the match where he had to fight a
Any of them.
giant?
Any of them.
If he had a banger match with a giant, you guys would have been like, "This is stupid. Braun Strowman's 8 feet tall. He should be squashing Bray Wyatt."
Cena at 30, you're on drugs. That match was 18 and a half minutes of standing headlocks. I just recently watched it.
Why?
And that storyline made no sense because Cena's like, I will not be bad and I will not hit you with a chair. And then he grabs a chair and hits somebody else with it. So his whole thing of not hitting somebody with a chair turned into him smacking fucking Redbeard or Eric or whatever the fucking chair. He's not good, people. Just fucking realize it. Sure, he's a very nice guy. But he's mediocre at best in the ring. His character, the only reason people like it is because it's dark, spooky, and it scratches that itch.
You got to pick up which card.
And Tom Savini made a cool mask.
Listen, you got to pick up which cards you want, man. He's either in shitty storyline. He's either a good talent with shitty storylines, or he's not a good talent at all. Because last week you said he was a great wrestler. You were like,
No,
he's a
I
good
never
wrestler.
said he was a good
He didn't say
wrestler.
he was a great wrestler.
Yeah,
Never
okay,
said he
you
was a
said-
good wrestler.
You were like, I like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's good, but the
I'm
story.
sure I said he's a nice
storylines-
guy, but as a character and as a wrestler, I don't think he's very talented.
I just want to point out that
I think if you put Bray
for
Wyatt
once,
in the
I'm not
80s,
arguing.
people would be like, "What the fuck is this?" And he'd be written off TV in a week. He'd be Bastion Booger.
Husky Harris
Husky
versus I
Harris
can't
versus,
remember who he
Jordan.
faced. Yeah, nobody remembers who Husky Harris faced. Speaking of Cena, is Cena the GOAT?
No.
People love him,
By
man.
a long shot.
He's got to be up there.
By a fucking long shot. Who's the GOAT if Cena's not? Jericho?
I know you're saying Jericho. I know you're saying Jericho, but I think so. I think Jericho. I think Jericho needs to take a break and go away for a little bit, and I think Jericho needs to get to the point in his career where he's the special attraction wrestler, and we don't see him every week.
Yep.
I think he eventually wants to do that, but he can't right now because AEW's in such disarray. They rely on Jericho and they rely on these big stars just to help them
But
out
I
right
think
now
Jericho wrestling on a more consistent basis is not good for his body, and some of his match qualities have not been very good.
I'm not arguing with you.
There's not a whole lot of match
He's old.
quality. Yeah, but when we think of like great wrestlers, like Axel just mentioned, Omega, stuff like that. Cena's not like in that.
Give the guy a
Cena's in my-
microphone,
in that
and he can sell. Here's the thing with Cena. Here's what
Cena's
Cena
in my
does that
top five
nobody
of
in
all time.
AEW does. No one wrestles to a crowd. Cena wrestles to a crowd.
Yes,
Cena's in my
and
top
that's
five
what-
of all time, but I don't think he's the GOAT.
Exactly. So, and Vince Torres says it's Randy, no question asked, I'll die on that hill. I agree with Vince Torres that Randy's up there, but I'm talking about overall. Like you have those
Randy's
guys.
a better wrestler than Cena.
Yeah. But
character-wise, Cena's 2 over.
From 2005 to 2015, who carried that company? Who put WWE on their back and made sure that WWE didn't go out of business? Not just plus working 300 plus days a year, also doing the most Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes and anybody in the company, and also doing all the PR work and everything that he's done. So, and Lisa, I really, I understand as a fan, some people get upset because, Cena went to Hollywood and he harped on The Rock for going to Hollywood. Cena gave us 15 years before deucing out and saying, all right, now I'm going to go do what I want to do. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. I used to be the biggest Cena hater in the world. Biggest. And when I got older and matured a little bit, you got to give Cena his flowers, man. You've got to.
He's in my top
Dude,
five.
when I
would never call him
left a
GOAT,
wrestling
though.
fan, and
I
the
don't call
entire time
anybody a GOAT.
when I left as a wrestling fan, and I was kind of in and out, just seeing what was happening, and everybody was doing we hate John Cena, we riot if John Cena wins, and all I knew of John Cena is like everyone sold him to me as like Hogan, and I was like, I probably won't like this guy, and then I got back into wrestling, and then Cena did like an appearance where he came back, and the entire crowd started booing him, and he's like, what's the matter? You guys booing me? You don't miss me? And literally by the end of that promo, every single person that was booing him was now cheering him. And I was like, bro, he is special as a talent. Like everyone says when you think of someone who's on the mic that just dominates, The Rock is up there. But John Cena is neck and neck with The Rock. He works a crowd so well. He's good. He's fucking good.
He's like I said, he's up there. I wasn't the biggest Cena fan, but he's definitely, you got to respect him, to call him the GOAT. Like Michael Cole legitimately said, the GOAT, John Cena and KO versus freaking Zayn and Reigns. Like that's crazy to me that WWE is allowing Michael Cole to sit there and call him the GOAT. I would not call him the GOAT.
Who would you say is the GOAT in
WWE? In WWE parameters.
In WWE or just the GOAT in wrestling of all time?
In WWE.
In WWE. Because you got to remember, Michael Cole's a WWE guy, so he's going to
Right.
refer to
Yeah.
Of course.
yeah.
Of
So
course.
just
So
let's
within
break
the-
it down to time frame, right? So everyone will say your Mount Rushmore. Is Cena on your Mount Rushmore of WWE?
I'm going. I mean, if we're doing, I hate Rushmores, dude.
Cena
I'm
has to
going.
be on the Mount Rushmore. Has
I'm
to be.
going Ric Flair on the on the Rushmore.
I wouldn't put W. I would not put Ric
I'm
Flair in the
going Stone
WWE
Cold.
Hall on
I'm
a
going Stone Cold Steve
Stone
Austin on the
Cold.
Rushmore. I'm going Chris Jericho on the Rushmore, and
Nope.
it's between The Rock and Cena for
Stone
like
Cold.
the last one. Yep.
Stone Cold, The Rock,
Mhm.
Undertaker,
Mhm.
and I'm a Shawn guy, but I would go Cena.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't like that.
Who held the company?
If we're doing Mount Rushmores of
Yeah,
WWE,
I hate Mount Rushmores, dude. God damn it!
Sorry.
Why we're on this?
Hogan. If I would maybe take down Hogan and take down Taker and put Hogan there. But here's the thing,
As much as
Cena.
I hate Hogan, I would probably put Hogan up there.
If you look at Cena's time frame of what he
fuck
did in that
Hogan.
time frame and how long he worked, Stone Cold's time frame as the top guy was not that long of a window. 3
It
4
wasn't
years.
that long of the window, but what he did in that
Very
window
impactful.
is
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like he was the one.
Same with The Rock. Rock's
Yeah.
window at top 4 or 5 years. Cena did it for like 10. That's a long window.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about longevity. I feel like this is my thing.
Roman's on a GOAT run.
He is on a GOAT run. Roman's fucking nuts right now.
Roman's put himself as one of the best,
like,
one of the top guys in WWE history with this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This heel turn and the bloodline really turned around his career, and this guy is now by far one of the best guys to ever wrestle in the WWE.
Right.
Now, for me, like, all right, I'm the Chris Jericho fanboy and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, I get it. But for me, a big thing is longevity, and Chris Jericho has tremendous longevity. Number one, and number two, this guy reinvents himself, and everything he did turned to gold. Like it was just like. Even the JS, I fucking hated AJ. I was like, this is stupid, but it was just like currently it's going over. It's like, man, everyone just loves this shit. Like, when he did the list of Jericho, that was supposed to be a comical thing, and that thing just caught fire. And that's why, like, certain things like that, Jericho, even though Jericho was a 8-time champion, and that's just if you count the ROH, but prior to that, like, he didn't have to be in the championship. Same thing with Taker. He didn't have to be the championship. That's how over these guys were. And they did it for such a long time. So for your argument with the John Cena thing, I could give you that because John Cena had that longevity as well. 10 to 15 years at the top of WWE. I can give you that. So it's hard for me to argue against, but that's why I put Jericho on the top. That's why that's my personal preference.
Listen, Jericho's a GOAT, and he is a WWE Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I think I love Jericho, but like it's hard to say that Jericho surpasses an Orton or Jericho surpasses a Stone Cold or a Rock, even though I think Jericho held his own during that era with those top guys, especially on the mic.
Those top guys in the same night.
Exactly. I think he holds his own in that era. But I think when you think of like crowd reaction and pops and like, the crowd hears the glass shatter, the crowd hears fucking.
Bro, go listen to his debut when he came in The Rock. That crowd pop. That shit was nuts. You want to talk about crowd pop?
It was one of the best debuts in WWE history. I will still say it is one of the best debuts in WWE history. But like, it's tough to get a pop like that, like on a consistent basis. Like if you turned on Monday Night Raw and didn't know and you heard glass shattering, you're losing your fucking mind.
So on Mount Rushmore, this is why I hate the Mount Rushmore thing, because everybody wants to put their personal favorites on a Mount Rushmore. A Mount Rushmore is people who had significant. That's who's on the Mount Rushmore. Presidents who did significant things in history, whatever.
Yep.
So the Mount Rushmore, it's not argumentative. It's not debatable. It's Hogan, Austin, Cena, and you can fill somebody in the fourth guy. That's it. It's not even The Rock, because while yes, Austin,
I don't put The Rock on Rushmores. I don't put The Rock over Chris Jericho either, because
if you put the
guy left.
If you no, I don't put it because he left. If you put The Rock in 1992, Rock benefited from a time period that Austin elevated and
Triple H. Does Triple H take that last spot?
It's hard for me because I'm a big Triple H guy too. I love Triple H.
See,
Dude.
I wouldn't say Flair because I think Flair had more of a career as a WCW NWA guy than he ever did as a WWE guy.
I'm not. You're not putting.
Flair
you
only
do
came to WWE because they offered him big money, and then when he wasn't the top guy because it was Hogan's show, he went right back to where he was the top guy.
If you just do WWE, then I could probably say I would put.
It's tough to go between Triple H and Randy Orton.
So
Randy Orton's still active. He's still active.
So here's the thing. Triple H. I'm a huge Triple H fan. In the 2000s, I hated John Cena, loved Triple H. But let's go back and look, guys.
The only reason I would make an argument for Shawn is that dude had not one but 2 Hall of Fame careers. Left and came back, and he was like, it's like Jordan coming back with the 4-5. Like Shawn,
I would almost agree with you there. However, with Hunter, the reason why I wouldn't
Shawn
do
was
it
such
with
a
Hunter,
piece of shit his first run. Oh, he was such a horrible human.
the reason why I wouldn't do, there was no way that Shawn was as more of a terrible human being than Randy Orton was. Randy Orton in the first 5 years of his career was an absolute fucking piece of dog shit.
Randy got a lot of people fired too. A lot of people.
Yeah. Do you guys ever remember hearing about the story of him doing an interview with a reporter, and he whips his cock out and he's like playing with it, and the interview guy was like all weirded out, and then Orton was like, "You what, bro? You trying to big time me? Are you trying to big time me?" Yeah,
I personally know someone I work with on a consistent basis who that Randy got fired.
Yeah. So anyways, we can argue that from 2004, 2005 on, Triple H, especially that horrible run, Triple H only got that run because he was sleeping with the boss's daughter.
Can I throw in a possible person to rival Triple H and Randy Orton?
Sure.
I won't say Andre because Andre was put in as the spectacle, and when Andre was in the ring, he was just really, really tall. He didn't really do much else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Andre came in, did the greatest hits, and left. But the guy who I'm going to say, I think, especially after the last run, I think can easily cement himself as probably one of the greatest attractions in WWE history and could put himself on the Mount Rushmore. And that's the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, God.
Tell me one time he didn't make a return and it was fucking impactful, and he pissed people off to the point when he finally lost, he put somebody over. He came in and left by putting somebody over.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with you.
Rushmore.
I'll agree with you because let me tell you why.
Comes in and seems like he's very selfish, but is doing it to help somebody else out.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to fucking even think about putting Roman on that list, by default, Brock Lesnar automatically becomes in the conversation.
Yeah.
By default.
I'm not even thinking about putting Roman on the list. Now, Roman's having a great run, and he could cement himself as one of the top people in the company. But not the company, of all time in the company. But to do a Mount Rushmore of all time in the company, Roman Reigns is not making my list.
Like I said, if you're even teasing the idea, you have to entertain. Okay.
Not even right now. Not at all.
Kurt's very good, but I don't think he makes Mount Rushmore. I think Edge is very good. I don't think he makes Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a very good. I thought that was a very good shout out. There was another one too. Gears of Kai brought it up, guys. The 4th spot would have to go to Vince, right?
No. Talent. You don't put Roger Goodell on the Mount Rushmore of the NFL.
First of all, you would never put fucking Roger Goodell on the fucking Mount Rushmore of anything. Fuck that guy.
But you don't put the guy who created the NFL in the Mount Rushmore. You put players who fucking.
But Roger Goodell didn't create. What I'm saying
the NFL. But even the owner of the NFL, you wouldn't put him on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay, but they named the Super Bowl trophy after one of the most influential coaches of all time.
Coaches, not owner. That's why I hate when the owner comes down and he takes the trophy first. Like, fuck you. You're the money guy. Give it to your fucking offensive lineman who has CTE tomorrow because of this fucking game.
Analyzing Tony is the last thought. I love it.
Oh God,
love that.
Fuck out of here.
It's tough, man. That's a good problem to have. Is trying to find that. It's a fun conversation.
So if Vince isn't, I would have to give it to Taker.
I would say
I mean,
Taker just because of how he did
impactful
more than
and
just
yeah.
being
because like Mark, you bring up a very
What's up,
great
Jake?
point about Jericho reinventing himself. Let's talk
Mhm.
about the guys that didn't have to reinvent themselves.
No, yeah, for
The guy,
sure.
you
You
know,
put Undertaker right up there. The guy
yeah,
had fucking 30 years with his gimmick, and
never
honestly,
left,
yeah,
never
yeah,
entertained the idea of leaving.
yeah.
I think to me, putting Taker in that 4 spot is essentially putting Vince in that 4
a
spot.
locker room leader almost the entire time he was there too.
Mhm.
Yep. I agree. I like that I like this conversation a hell of a lot better than I like some of these AEW topics that we're going to get into. Except for this first one.
I was actually kind of shocked that you let off with WWE. I thought because we usually start off with AEW. So
All I'm going to say is we've been talking a lot, Chase, and you've been telling me some things about yourself, but we've talked about weight, and all I got to say, Chase, is you're a big motherfucker.
You goddamn right. Action Andretti.
Wait, Chase. Do you want to do the Christmas draft before we go into AEW?
Yeah, let's go, Chris. So here's our draft tonight. We're drafting our favorite Christmas
movies.
Not wrestling related tonight. Christmas movies.
We're gonna switch it up a little bit.
Chase is drafting first.
Marcus.
Then Mark.
Chase,
Mark's drafting first.
Mark, Chase,
then Chase. Then me, your clear winner from last week.
And I'm gonna go with the greatest Christmas movie.
You say something fucking stupid right
of
here.
all time, and this should be on 24 hours, not a fucking Christmas Story. We're going Home Alone.
All right, you're right. You redeemed yourself. That's
my god, thank you.
A really good pick. A really fucking good pick.
Oh my god.
If you would have said some stupid shit like Jingle All the Way as number 1, I would have fucking punched
Home
you.
Alone is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. You could fight me. Fuck you guys. I don't care if you're talking out of your ass, but the fact that Christmas Story, the fact that a fucking Christmas Story is on a 24-hour loop and my girl's in the other room right now watching that bullshit is a fucking travesty.
Christmas Story is very, very good. And the remake was pretty good. I love Christmas Story.
Somebody should have shot that little son of a bitch with that red rocket.
Christmas movie is a great pick.
Thank you.
Christmas Home is a great pick.
Number 2.
But Home Alone is clearly the number 1 overall pick.
I said Home Alone 1, Lisa, the first
one. Home Alone 1.
The very first one.
My number 1 pick, Stephen Chambers. Christmas Vacation.
That's the clear number 2 if Home Alone is taken, and that's 100% the right answer.
Yep.
And that is Christmas Vacation. So Chase is taking Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Yep. When Santa brings his fat ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes on this side of the. I used to have it memorized.
ABJ.
All right, so this is tough. This is where the third pick comes in, and this is where your Christmas Story can fall in. This is where a lot of things can fall in place, and this is where people can get offended. But I'm gonna say right now, the number 3 pick for me, it's not even close. Is fucking when Jim Carrey puts those yellow contacts in and puts that green suit on.
All right. So Jim Carrey's
live action Grinch is my first round pick.
That is a solid choice, my guy. Solid choice. And I'm going to keep the train because this is my favorite movies, and I'm going Home Alone number 2.
Great pick. I don't hate it.
Number 2.
Home Alone 2 can actually almost rival Home Alone 1.
100%. How many times have you make a sequel of a movie and it is ass? But you make a sequel of Home Alone and that shit was fucking
What
fire.
Makes Home Alone 2 almost as good as Home Alone 1? There's only one answer.
When what's his
one
name?
Person. One person makes that movie fucking amazing.
Who?
Tim Curry.
Who?
Tim Curry, the butler.
Oh yeah. My favorite part is when he's getting electrocuted in the basement in the paint, and he starts screaming and he turns into a skeleton. And all you see is his fucking fro.
Yeah.
You know it's coming, but I'm dying laughing every time.
Yep. Good picks. Yep. I mean, I don't hate the fact that you went 1 and 2 in your first and second pick.
They're my favorite. I watch it all the time. Like
this is where so you literally took my first couple picks. You both did. So this is where I'm going to start slacking because after that, I'm not a huge Christmas person. I actually hate this time of the year. So this is going to be a struggle for me going forward. So I will probably.
It's not your pick. It's not your pick.
I will probably lose this draft and be drafting first next week. So go ahead, Chase.
You're up.
I have some really good ones, but
hell yeah, you got
I can tell
100%.
I think that I can get them in the later rounds. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
All right. That's a dual hitter. That can go 2 holidays in one, but it's
Yep.
good. This is where I'm going to get controversial. Is this movie a Christmas movie or not?
Oh God, it's not. But go on. Go ahead and
It
take
It
it.
is.
It is a Christmas
Goddamn right
movie.
it is.
Listen, you go to the Christmas party, thought it'd be fun, have a couple drinks, get a little
Nah.
crazy. Fucking Die Hard.
Yeah.
Nah, not a Christmas movie to me. I literally have this argument every year with my cousin.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
yeah.
What makes Die Hard not a Christmas movie?
What makes it a Christmas movie?
Because it takes place during Christmas.
So
The same. What
it's
makes
not.
Home
It's not.
Alone?
It's not.
What makes Home
It's not
Alone? What
holiday
makes Home Alone?
themed.
What?
Home Alone's holiday themed.
So is
But
Die Hard.
That's what makes it a Home Alone.
Die Hard is
Christmas
holiday
movie.
themed.
How?
They were at a Christmas party when this all went down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
And he's got it. Listen,
like I said,
hold
I
on.
mean, go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead. I mean,
Hold on, I'm gonna finish. He has to make it out alive so he can get home to his wife for Christmas. Just like Kevin's mom has to make it home to Kevin because he's home alone for Christmas.
Here's a question: If you're in the team, if you're in the team, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Is Batman Returns a Christmas movie?
You're goddamn right.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely.
100% takes place during Christmas time.
Yo, we got some reaches here, chat. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I guess whatever. Agree to disagree. Let's keep this train going.
Die Hard's my number 2 pick. Back to you for number 3.
It's on there. My third pick. Not a lot of people really like it, but it is a feel-good movie for me. I love it. I'm going Christmas with the Cranks. It's a great fucking movie. And if you guys don't watch it, Christmas with the Cranks.
I think this is where Chase is.
I think Mark
just bombed a little bit.
I think he's bombing on purpose because he likes picking first.
Yeah.
I think he realized last week that he doesn't like picking.
Hold on a second. So this draft, before you go, I'm sorry. It's like your favorite movies, all right? I'm not bombing. I love Christmas with the Cranks. I watch that shit just as much as Home Alone. It's fucking awesome. It's a great movie.
Chase.
But go on.
I am going to go because I think I can get it in a later round, but I'm going to go ahead and get it. Elf with Will Ferrell.
Solid.
Not one of my favorites. I love Will Ferrell. I can do without this movie, but it is universally popular. I think that raised your draft stock getting it this late in the game. I appreciate that.
Yep.
It fell this late, so it's a pretty solid pick.
This one, I think I can get at any point in the draft, but I'll put it out there now because this movie truly entertains me. It is a Christmas movie. It's in the title. It's a romantic comedy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm picking a romantic comedy for my number 3 pick. Vince Vaughn. And Reese
Four Christmases. That was my next pick. Solid.
I love Four Christmases. Dude, it's a great.
My favorite part is when they give him the satellite dish and they're like, oh, just leave it alone. They're gonna if you think I'm gonna let a sex predator come in here and parade around here in his underwear, you got another thing coming.
Four Christmases is very high up. Like that like I am very similar to Vince Vaughn in Four Christmases when he starts becoming Jesus and he's taking over the show because he's or when he's like
woman, swaddle that baby.
When the baby starts puking, he's like, get it out of here. If I see it, I'm gonna do it too. Like, yeah, love that movie.
Dude, I love that. That was my next pick. Like you kind of I swear to God. Those are that, like I said, Home Alones, both of the Home Alones, Christmas with the Cranks, and Four Christmases. Those are the guaranteed 4 I watch religiously when it comes to Christmas.
4th round.
Like that's my shit. 4th round, man. I gotta mix this up a little bit. I'm gonna go little kid version here. Little kid version of Mark. We were going back to the old. I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Santa's Coming Home for Christmas or something like that, or something. I forgot what it was.
Is it one of the claymations?
Yes.
Is it A Day Without Santa Claus?
Yes. There we go. I'm going that one. That was like the ultimate
clay animations were clutch back in the day.
That was my shit.
They're great.
Thank
Frosty,
you.
Rudolph, the whole 9. They're good.
Yeah. Thank you for your help on that one. What was that called again?
A Day Without Santa Claus.
A Day Without Santa Claus. There we go. That's what I'm going.
Chase.
My 4th round pick Tim Allen, the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
I'm
Solid.
not a Tim Allen guy, but I like the pick. I'm saying it now because it's in the chat, and it probably won't get stolen from me. But as a lot of you may know, I'm a horror movie guy, so
Ugh.
I would mess up if I did not say a horror movie in my pick, and I'm going with Black Christmas.
Don't like that.
Actually, I lie. Fuck it. I'm going with Lee Everett's pick. I'm going Krampus, baby. Fucking Krampus. Lock
So
it
we're
in.
going Krampus. We're going Krampus.
Yep.
I don't like either of those.
Actually, you know what?
This is gonna be.
Oh wait, scratch it out. Scratch out Krampus.
Jesus
okay,
Christ!
If you tell me
Got
it's
the
not a
San
Christmas
Diego
movie,
Chargers over here.
hold on.
Don't know who to
if you
pick.
tell me it's not a Christmas movie, I'll spit in your face. Gremlins.
That is so fucking awesome.
Gremlins is my
I
fourth
love
round pick.
Gremlins.
So we're gonna go Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Yep.
Is that a thing?
Yep.
All right, I'll go to you. I guess
It is technically still kind of a horror movie too. It is.
I
It is
mean-
accepted by the horror community.
Yep.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know if I don't know if I like it as a horror movie because I like it and I don't like horror movies. So I love Gremlins.
Krampus is kind of on the line of Gremlins too, where they kind of have that campy horror character type, like the gingerbread man, like it's in the same realm. Krampus is a good movie.
all right. My
Final
last
round.
pick. This is a toss-up. There's a lot of Christmas food. First of all, I love Christmas.
Yep.
Big Christmas fan. So
1000%.
I love watching that movie. So it was really hard for this last pick. But I'm gonna go Deck the Halls. I don't know if you guys remember seeing it or not. Came out in 2006. They had the whole was it Dan DeVito wanted to see his lights from space.
Mm-hmm.
That was hilarious. Watch that all the time as well. I got some honorable mentions after the draft though, but I'm going Deck the Halls to finish my draft. Deck the Halls is a great movie.
Alrighty.
And I won't change it a million times like ABJ. So
sorry, the horror movie got me a little bit. Got me.
So I wasn't gonna pick this movie. I was actually going to pick. I wanted to pick this movie, but when I saw ABJ's reaction to it, I was like, I don't know if I want to pick it now. And I almost picked the new Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. It's an honorable mention. I love it.
Is he about to go like Star Wars holiday special?
No.
Thank God.
Jingle All the Way.
That has to come off the list, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Final pick, and it fell to me.
I just want a Turbo Man doll.
Yeah, it fell to me, and I'm happy about it. I was gonna take Christmas Story, but I think universally, I don't think Christmas movie is gonna get me good points. It's not gonna raise my draft stock. So I won't take a Christmas Story. I think it's maybe overplayed. I think maybe people are burnt out of the Christmas Story. So I'm gonna take one of the greatest Christmas movies with one of the best actors of all time. You want to talk about the goats of acting and comedy? Give me Bill Murray, Scrooged. Final pick of the 5th.
Oh.
Scrooge, Bill Murray. All right, final pick. Not bad.
Yeah. I think my list is good for people who like Christmas, who will watch a Christmas movie, but not really big Christmas people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a big Christmas guy. One of my honorable mentions.
Genre.
Yeah.
One of my honorable mentions was actually the Jim Carrey A Christmas Carol. Fucking love that movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen it or not.
No.
It's freaking amazing, dude.
The animated one. Polar Express.
Hate fucking Paul. So I worked as an usher in a movie theater when the Polar Express came out, and I'm in the theater cleaning, and all I hear is hot chocolate, chocolate, and I'm just like,
have you guys
to fucking get out of theaters? I'm gonna jump off the roof if I hear.
Listen, if you have kids, Polar Express is clutch. Dude.
Have you guys seen Christmas Chronicles on Netflix?
Yep.
Solid Christmas movie as well. I freaking love that movie as well. That was also my
with Kurt Russell, right?
Kurt, yeah. Solid movie. That was.
Goldie Hawn plays. They reveal Goldie Hawn as Mrs. Claus after. That is definitely an honorable mention.
For me, an honorable mention. It's a comedy once again. The Night Before. That's with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, George were the three best friends who just get hammered every Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good one. And another honorable mention I like is Office Christmas Party. If you guys ever seen that one, that one's hysterical as well.
Who's in Christmas with the Cranks?
That's like
Tim
100
Allen.
people.
Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay,
Yeah.
where's the one where he pays them to be his family?
Pays him to be his family.
It came out right around the same time that Christmas with the Cranks did.
Talking about fucking We Are the Millers. That's a drug movie.
No, I'll have to look it up. But
You know what's considered a Christmas movie? Trading Places.
Oh God. All right. Chat. Here we go. I'm gonna put this. So here we go.
Bad Santa was not picked.
Yeah, Bad
Bad
Santa.
Santa
was
not
not
picked.
picked.
Neither was
It is a
Christmas
solid
Story.
movie. It's a solid. I hate Christmas Story. All right. So Mark had Home Alone 1 and 2, Christmas with the Cranks, A Day Without Santa Claus for all your feel good nostalgia, and Deck the Halls. Chase had Christmas Vacation, Nightmare Before Christmas, Elf, The
Ooh.
Santa Claus, the OG, and Jingle All the Way. And ABJ had The Grinch Jim Carrey version, Die Hard,
Great
Four
movie.
Christmases, fantastic movie, Gremlins, and Scrooged, Bill Murray. So let us know who wins in the
I have another
chat.
honorable mention.
This one's pretty tough. I think we all had great lists, to be totally
Yeah.
honest.
No, another honorable mention for me. Really, really like this. Daddy's Home 2, Christmas movie.
No, that's a good one too. Yeah. That's a good movie.
I also have a man crush on Mark Wahlberg.
That's cool. All right, looks like ABJ's taking it right now.
I'm getting
Mark
a lot of love in the
second.
chat. I did not expect
You
that.
are getting a lot of love right now.
He always gets
Chase
a
got
lot
a
of
love. Chase got some love as well.
Also, not a
three-way
big Mel
tie.
Gibson.
Steven Chambers, that will just melt your heart.
Not a big Mel Gibson guy. But did you watch Fat Man?
No,
Good
never seen
movie.
it.
Fat Man. He plays Santa Claus. Gives a kid coal. The kid grows up to be a billionaire. Hires a hitman to go to the North Pole to kill Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is a gangster. It's really
ABJ would have won, but he omitted the big one. Chase wins. Which one did he omit? He omitted like 5.
I didn't take A Christmas Story for him, so he's knocking me.
Sorry, Hunter. Fuck that movie.
Dude, I didn't take Christmas Story, but I took Scrooge with Bill Murray. That's a steal in the late round.
So it looks like ABJ won.
Bro,
It's
I'm
looking
dumb.
like ABJ won.
I think I'm clearly leading in most wins in this draft.
The only reason why that is, your drafts aren't that great, dude. The only reason why that is,
great.
No, stop. The reason why you're winning is because the majority of the people watching this show are from your YouTube page.
Bro, get
and
popular.
if there's one thing we all can agree on, is everybody loves ABJ.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. That was our special edition Christmas draft. All right, guys. So
Thank you,
let's
everybody.
go on.
I can't believe I won that draft without getting Home Alone or Christmas Story. That is a come from behind late round fucking March Madness.
Home Alone
steal.
is my favorite, and I could watch that shit, and it's not Christmas. That's how much I love those movies.
Yeah. I watched both of them today.
So. I think the non-Christmas movies helped me. I think Die Hard helped me. I think Gremlins helped me, and I think Scrooged helped me. And Jim Carrey as a Grinch is a good first rounder.
I think Gremlins helped you a lot too. That's one thing I will say about your draft.
If I would have said Krampus and not Gremlins, I don't win this draft. Straight up.
The one thing I'll say about your drafts is your drafts are unique.
I'm creative.
Man, I got no love on my draft this week. This sucks. Looks like I'm going last again. Or
I'd have to see your draft again, Mark, because I
don't think yours is a bad list. Maybe Home Alone 1 and 2 back to back is tough, but I still
Home
think
Alone 1 and 2, Christmas with the Cranks, A Day Without Santa Claus, and Deck the Halls.
Maybe Deck the Halls.
Before we get into AEW.
Promise.
Before we get into AEW, guys, let's go
I'm
roundtable
a couple beers in. I'm having a good time tonight.
Fantastic.
This is a good show. This is a great show.
Yeah, it is. It's a really great show. Anyways, so let's go around and let's pick favorite Christmas moments in wrestling.
I don't know a lot because I don't.
And it doesn't have to be favorite. It can just be Christmas moments. It can be infamous. It can be famous.
I got one.
Hey,
Can I go
all right.
first?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
When
trying to
Bobby
think.
the Brain Heaton ruined Christmas for everybody and said Santa Claus wasn't real.
That's fantastic.
You're a fucking dick.
He legit did it. Well, he tried to, but they cut him off. They didn't let him actually do it. But he literally tried to go on TV and say that Santa Claus wasn't real. Bobby Heaton was an animal. That's the only one I can honestly remember.
Chase,
Like the rest of them were all like, so like, was anyone entertained with New Day came out of a box as nutcrackers and kicked them in the balls and
No.
walked away? Because that's literally every Christmas moment in WWE since the beginning of time. They're just really, really childy and corny and dumb. Like even Stone Cold stunning Santa Claus. Like who cares? I don't know. Like those Christmas, maybe because I just a fucking Grinch and I don't like Christmas, but none of those do anything for me.
I've got a bunch. Mark,
I'll
so
hear
you go
some.
ahead and
Let
go
me hear
first.
some. Yeah.
I've got Austin stunning Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was being a dick to the little kid, little boy who I for the longest time thought was a little girl, but he was a long haired little boy, and Santa Claus was being a dick because he wanted to see Sable come out and he wanted Sable to sit on his lap and blah blah blah. So Stone Cold came out and stunned Santa. Another one for me is DX with the mistletoe hanging from their ass crack.
I
And it
got
said
one. I got one.
Yeah, Merry Xmas. The WCW, Sting giving Hogan his severed head as a Christmas present was clutch. And one of the biggest build-up matches of all time that wound up being one of the worst matches of all time. And we will do that one of these days for a draft. On bad booking. But yes, it was prior to the infamous 1997 Starrcade, where Sting and Hogan had their year-long feud. And like I said, prior Hogan Hogan got a severed head. And back then in 1997, that head looked legit. So it wasn't like a fake looking prop. Like it legit looked like Hogan's head. So and that's all I got.
All right, so I got one I just remembered. So Team Jerry Show. All right, so they were the tag team champions for a while, right? And they lost it. And I think Jericho was on Raw, Big Show was on SmackDown. So Big Show came out and he was talking to Santa Claus, right? And he's like, all he wanted for Christmas was to be reunited with his best friend at that time, and it was Chris Jericho, right? And he's like, all I want is just to see Chris Jericho one more time, me with my best friend, but they were separated, right? So then Hornswoggle comes with all these other like little people, and they come and they swarm Santa Claus, and it turned out Santa Claus was Chris Jericho. And then you had Chris Jericho and Big Show, Team Jerry Show coming back, and they started beating the shit out of all the little people. That's the only one I could really remember that I would actually like.
Was the Chris Jericho Kevin Owens breakup? Was that I remember being the Festival of Friendship, but was that also around Christmas time?
I could Google real quick. I don't remember.
That would be massively clutch.
I don't know if that is. The Rock singing his own 12 Days of Christmas. I remember that one. That was pretty funny. You guys remember that one? Rock singing his own rendition?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So those are the only ones I could really recall.
Roddy Piper gets visited by 3 ghosts. I never seen that, but that's probably entertaining.
Probably.
All right. Let's move on to AEW.
Bubba Claus versus Tajiri Claus.
What? I don't remember that.
So before we get into kind of like all the stuff, I want to start off on a positive note with AEW. ABJ had mentioned, that he thinks Action Andretti kind of, goes to dark or elevation or something like that. But no, Action Andretti's featured first thing on AEW Dynamite.
He gets a run in, he clears the ring, and then he gets
Yeah.
probably legit fireballed because that looked like it hit him in the face.
It looks like it hit him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
This guy.
But I mean, Action Andretti clears the ring now, which is awesome that he clears the ring. That he didn't just run into the ring and people scattered. He actually cleared the ring. So
yeah, it was another good moment for the kid.
Very good moment.
Happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gets fireballed from the Wizard, Chris Jericho, the Ocho. So
I think Chris Jericho needs another reinvention, though.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. I agree with you. Trust me, I'm not gonna fight with you.
I hope he has another one in the tank. I really do.
I think you are right. I think it's time for him to slowly go away for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm sure he probably has another thing coming, but we'll see. I think the JS has kind of run its course. If you're not gonna feature them, as a
when the
trio
JSA
tag
is
team,
90% what the inner circle was, it's kind of losing its luster. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I think. So as far as
JAS.
yeah,
The
That's what I
JSA
say.
is the Justice Society.
Jericho,
Sorry.
Jericho
My bad.
Appreciation Society. So the Jericho
PC guy.
Appreciation Society.
Look at tantalizing Tony up past his bedtime, guys.
What
If
is up,
they're-
Tony? Wow, you are
if-
way up early. Yeah.
if they are not going to literally use the JAS as part of trios or tag team competition, I think it's just time to just But going back to action, let's stay positive. Oh, go ahead. What if what? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, going back to action. What if we get like a little bit of a feud here between Jericho and Action?
I think they
face at a pay-per-view and Action goes over on Jericho again.
Yeah, that's what it's kind of looking like. I said I think he'll get shuffled to dark unless Jericho does a full program with him, and it looks like we're getting a full program.
I think he's doing a full program with Jericho, and I think he's going to start, picking apart a little by little the JAS, and I think Action Andretti might be the reason why the JAS might disband or Jericho disappears for a little bit, because
if
the
Jericho
embarrassment
does
of
this,
losing. What were we saying?
If Jericho does this is one of the greatest veteran putovers I can remember in recent times in professional wrestling. You took a kid who literally was being chanted as jobber, 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 and you give him a pay-per-view match if that's the case.
And make him a star.
I don't think there has ever been a torch passing that quick to a guy in his first year of his career getting signed to a company. If Chris Jericho does this, man, this is one of the greatest showings of Jericho putting over a guy who deserves it, that nobody in the world knew except if you lived in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania wrestling scene.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
And you know what? I don't know if I would use the term smart, but kind of interesting that AEW debuts Action Andretti down in Texas.
Not even in his hometown.
Unless if you're not familiar with the Northeast independent wrestling scene, those people in Texas don't know who he is, and it was very clear they didn't know who he was because they all started chanting "Jobber."
That's why that Jobber chant came.
Yeah. That's the genius of Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
and that's where I will say that's where Chris Jericho is always in that talk of one of the GOATs, because Jericho, just like he is on stage as a rock star, he is the same way in the ring. He understands the person you're wrestling for is the people in the crowd.
Go ahead, Mark. Rub your pillow one time for the crowd.
Do one better, baby.
Yep. Just rub it.
You don't think during commercial breaks when the camera's not on and the mic's not on, he's not looking at the crowd and going, "I'm going to beat up this jobber." He 100% fed everything to that crowd to get them invested into that guy.
100%. And I think if Action Andretti is entering a decent program with Chris Jericho, he might be the one to drive Chris Jericho away for a little bit, because the embarrassment of losing to this jobber at a potential pay-per-view.
Yep.
You might not want to show his face on
AEW when you
for a
came
while.
off one of the greatest ROH runs of all time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He might not want to show his face on AEW television for a while.
Let's get this out of the way before fucking Axel has a fucking
No, we're not done. We're not done yet. That's last.
Jesus Christmas.
That's last. I'm making him wait. God, if we give it to him now, he's gonna sign off, and we're gonna lose a
He's
viewer.
gonna leave. He's gonna leave out of here.
Yeah. Make him wait. Make him draw it out. Make him sweat it out. We'll talk about it.
For a guy who runs a wrestling company, I can't believe he can't see through this. It's blowing my mind.
All ego, Ethan Page versus Brian and MJF, or I mean,
you want my best booking of the week? This promo. Okay. He walked out and made it make sense, because why the fuck does Daniel Bryan get a title shot? Because he ran out and just attacked him for no reason, because he punched William Regal? That's a dumb reason to give somebody a world championship. Ethan Page walks out and goes, wait a second. Who deserves this more here? Where the fuck were you in the main title picture this whole time besides losing? I was the guy who was in the final two. I was the guy here doing this. He saved the story for me. He actually inserted something that fucking made sense on Wednesday night.
Okay. Agreed.
Because everything else in the show was just a fucking throw it at a wall and see what sticks.
Speaking of throwing it at a wall and seeing if it sticks, the Trios $300,000 battle royal.
Don't care.
Holy shit, that was stupid.
The battle royal? Oh yeah.
That was so stupid.
I said this on the AEW Dynamite post show, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, CR Media does an AEW Dynamite post show that ABJ used to do. We still do it. We go live about 15 minutes after Dynamite every week. So you guys should come out and hang out and talk AEW Dynamite with us. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's really bad. Speaking of really bad, I cannot fucking stand it when promotions do money matches. Tell me you're a piece of shit without telling me you're a piece of shit. Like, hey guys, we're going to go out and do this match where the winner gets $300,000. Oh, cool. Are we all going to get $300,000? No. It's
actually
fake.
None of you.
None of you are going to get $300,000.
I love when they do it. I love when they do it in independent shows, and then like, here's your envelope, $28.
Yeah.
Like you have a whole trios fucking championship.
Yep.
Why wasn't this a number one contenders battle royal? Why
they still have to go through another 3.5 months? It's the best of 48, right?
It doesn't
matter. Hey guys,
wait. Like you need to legitimize this division. And you know what? I have trios championships, and instead of lining up your potential next opponent to fight, because we're gonna get 7 fucking matches of the same trios championship. Why are you not setting up a next opponent? Why are you doing a battle royal for fake fucking money? Yep. It is so stupid, and that is Mark's bad booking of the week. It is the trios.
We have a whole fucking section, Mark. You can't tell us what your bad booking is in the middle.
Why didn't you yell at him? We have a whole we have a whole new segment of the best booking of the week. He just did. You didn't yell at him, so fuck off.
No, we don't. When have we ever done the best booking of the week?
The wrong way.
We talked about it last week. Remember?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's right. I did spoil that. That's my bad.
Hey guys, we're you're independent contractors. We're not going to fucking provide you with healthcare. We're not going to provide you with paid vacations. We're not going to provide you with anything like that. You're lucky you even fucking got booked this week, but we're going to have you fight for fake fucking money. I hate it. I cannot stand it. I don't give a fuck who won this. I don't care if they throw in a number one contendership with it to begin with. I cannot stand that you dangle money in front of independent contractors who are fighting their nuts off to fucking make a spot on TV, to make a spot on a roster, to fucking make money driving up and down the road. And you're like, hey, here's $300,000 of fake money.
I'm going to quick throw something out. It's
2022, guys. Almost 2023. Let's stop with the fake money stipulation matches.
One thing real quick, and I hope it doesn't spiral into a whole conversation. We don't have to dive into it. But one other thing that happened this week, WWE-wise, is they announced they're getting rid of the 3 strikes you're out policy. So, essentially, do drugs, do steroids, and if you do them more than 3 times, we're not going to fire you for it. But I'm going to get real close here. But I swear to fucking God, if you show one fucking nipple on the internet, you're out of here. Do drugs more than fucking 3 times. But if we see an areola, get the fuck out of our company. Anyway, back to AEW.
Yep. Here's my bad booking of the week since Mark ruined his.
Okay, I'm getting heat, but he ruined the new segment. I'm getting heat, but he
I'm
ruined
handsome.
it. Fuck you both.
Look, have you seen this hair? I can do what I want.
Swerve's new team, the Mongol Affiliates.
Look at the chat. That's all me.
Is that what it's called? Muggle or Mongol?
I think it's it might be.
Are you sure it's not Muggle affiliates?
Wait, why would they say Muggle? That's Harry Potter, you fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have no fucking
bastard.
clue. I have no fucking clue.
I would have
That's
never
what
known
I'm
that was
saying.
Harry Potter. Just so that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I could have sworn it said Muggle. I don't know. Go on.
It might be like Mogul affiliates, but it's not Muggle. It's not Muggle. But
At least
anyways,
if people were meeting this chat, they'd get booted. That's all there is to it. That's why we run a tight ship.
So, anyways, this is my bad. This is my bad booking of the week. This whole segment was god awful. I don't know what they were trying to. I don't know what they were trying to imply. I don't know.
Mogul. Big swag.
Like business mogul.
Okay, there we go.
So I don't know if they're trying to imply that Keith Lee's just really fucking strong, but how does like 3 people hit this dude and he doesn't sell it? And then like it was just a clusterfuck. Like, what is going on? And I'm not the kind of guy to do this, but I'm gonna do this because whatever I can. I would have loved to have seen Swerve bring up some good young African American talent with him, not too fucking idiotic, too good of African American talents like Private Party. Cut the Private Party gimmick and put them with Swerve, and let Swerve carry that team.
You brought a guy out who's not even big on the independent.
Not fucking
scene.
Brock, not like fucking Brock Lesnar Jr. and some dipshit who looks like he should be bouncing at. That's a lot better than what I called him. I called him a skinhead on the
Can we talk about how bad I love this guy too? I think he's such a nice guy, and I work with him, and I'm rooting for him as a human because he's been through so much. But how bad is the name Big Bill?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a T-shirt that says Big Bill.
No. W Morrissey, W Morrissey, Big Will. I would have gone with Big Will.
Yeah.
Than Big Bill.
I want to support this guy. I love him. I know the people who trained him. I fucking everything this guy has went through. I love him. I'm not wearing a Big Bill shirt.
I love redemption stories.
Yeah, he was a baseball player who's been training to be a wrestler.
There's nothing I love more than redemption stories.
Mm-hmm.
Big Cass, W Morrissey, William Morrissey, whatever you want to call him, fantastic. At the end of his WWE career, he was at rock bottom. He was in horrible shape. He was drinking, doing drugs. He was not in a good position. Then you know he builds himself back up. I mean, it's a great redemption story. But
another story of DDP saving someone's life.
Yep. But for fuck's sake, dude, I can't get behind I can't get behind Big Bill. I just can't. You got to change the name. Mark, was this as cringe for you as it was for us?
It was cringe, bro. It was pretty
bad.
It
was bad.
It was pretty bad.
What was Rick Ross doing out there?
Rick Ross had no business being out there, and he's a big motherfucker too, and he shouldn't be anywhere near the fucking ring, bro. Like it was just.
I had no problem with him being out there. There should have been a time period where they cut his mic.
Yeah,
because he was talking too much.
There was just a bunch of unnecessary. I don't even know if there's a word. Unnecessariness going on in this entire segment, like things that should have been. They shouldn't have brought these 2 guys. They should have been. Like,
I have no problem bringing the 2 guys, but the 2 guys had to hit Keith Lee like 5 times before he sold anything.
It was bad. It was bad. It's not my bad booking of the week because I already know how I feel about the Trios division, but it's up there.
Do you really think Swerve Scott needs people around him to be entertaining and get over?
No, I don't. That's
me?
The thing.
He's so good.
Hell yeah.
No, but if you're gonna bring those guys in, you immediately told me that these guys aren't worth a shit because Brock Lesnar Jr. and his friend from the St. Louis Cardinals had to fucking hit Keith Lee 4 or 5 times for him to go down. And it was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Pretty tough. All right, let's get out of here before we're putting more energy into this kid than they probably did.
Absolutely.
ABJ, since we're on it, bad booking of the week, sir.
You're gonna hate me. AEW as a whole, that show is a bore to me.
Okay.
Their storylines are doing nothing for me. There's not one part of the show that I pulled out and I was like, boy, I'm excited for that going forward.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll give AEW. AEW puts on good matches. They always have.
AEW is on a low for me right now.
But as far as their booking and the,
I'm gonna agree with the ABJ. I'm at an all-time.
You know what? I'm gonna put this in adult terms, right? This is gonna get kind of dumb because I'm drunk and maybe medicated. But like, you ever watch like a really, really like you look at like you're on the hub, right, and you're looking at some girl and you're like, oh, this looks like a really cool scene, but they do that really weird stepbrother, step parent thing, and you're like, storyline, I hate this, but the action's good. That's AEW right now. It's all step bro porn. You know what I mean? Like I'm not into the stories at all, but the wrestling matches are decent.
There's nothing I hate more than clicking on a video with a hot chick. And I'm like, this is going to be really good.
This because the dirty talk is, yeah, step bro. It's like, no, that's gross. Don't do that.
I don't watch the hub.
Why the fuck you lying?
I don't.
Why you always lying?
I hope that catches on and that becomes the I hope more people say that in the wrestling community that AEW is like step bro porn right now.
All right.
Great action, terrible stories.
All right.
Is there anything?
Yep. So you don't you might not know about
this. Actually, I have another thing that happened on this show that I'm not a fan of. Okay. We had a really, really good main event. We put 2 women in the main event and they tore the fucking house down.
Yep.
And Britt Baker had to be involved again.
I knew it.
I knew you.
So now we're gonna get Britt Baker in another fucking trios tag match with a champion that a champion can be defending her belt, and now we're going to put another fucking me and my girl versus the champion and her friend. So me, Britt Baker, can be involved in. So you see my face on the title, even though I'm not holding it. Move the fuck on.
Hey, Axel, at least you were on the shitter, buddy. That's good. Anyways, ABJ, do you want to tell this story for us?
So yes. So if for besides fucking Axel who watches Dark Elevation.
Hold on. Do me and everybody else watching a huge favor. Pretend we have no idea about it.
I'm gonna
give us a story, and then at the end give us your twist, okay?
Yes. So if you're someone besides Axel in the universe of AEW who watches Dark Elevation, there was a bit they did on Dark Elevation of the SAP. Now, Mark is from Chicago, Chase is from the Midwest. They have no fucking idea what SAP means, right?
I do.
But I mean, like, you don't know, what they're trying to go for as a story, but you don't know who they're taking it from, essentially.
No, I do. Yeah, I don't. Amazing Red. I know.
You know because you've been watching Tantalizing Tony, but if you were not clued into that, you would be kind of lost.
No, I know who SAP is before Tantalizing Tony.
There is a team in the Northeast area who had appearances on also ROH of the SAT, the Spanish announce team. Their team was. They were 3 Spanish announce tables. They would come out and get their table destroyed, and they would snap the fuck out and beat up everybody. They have been innovative wrestlers forever. They created pretty much the Destroyer. They created the Spanish Fly. A lot of innovative tag team moves that are now seen all over TV. These guys are the ones who essentially came up with that moveset. And they're not upset that people are taking their moveset and using them on TV and they're becoming the biggest spots in wrestling. They're more upset that AEW has taken essentially their Spanish announce team gimmick and a Spanish announce team project and essentially ripping off everything they've done and putting it on TV. That being said, it went on to internet saying we're going to get legal action involved. But then in his promo online, he said, why don't you just put us in the ring and let us settle it? So for me as a wrestling fan, and they're going to be in New York in February, I think this is a way to take 3 guys who, and I'm not trying to be mean, I love Serpentico and Angelico and Helico. Sorry, I can never say his name, dyslexia, and Luther. I can't really say much about Luther. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about Luther. Sure, he's a really nice guy as a character, but there are 3 essential jobbers on Dark Elevation. They're losing every match in Dark Elevation. So, sorry, April, not February. But if you keep building this rivalry up and hopefully make it gain some traction by the time you get to New York, maybe you're going to give a moment to this team who truly deserves it to come in and be like, this is really our gimmick, and they beat them up and they take it over. That would be cool. I don't if it's not, it's all the way till April. I think they're there sooner than that, to be honest with you, if they're going to roll with this. But my problem with it is I want to be excited because I think everyone thinks this is AEW ripping off a gimmick and just being disrespectful. I think it's a giant work. I think it's a way to get SAT involved in AEW in some way. Because they are a trios team, they would be a team that would be fun to watch either in the ROH trios division or in the AEW trios division. I think there's enough people in that locker room who are very well aware who the SAT are, and I don't think it's an oversight to do this. I think it's all planned to get them in. I don't buy into the fact that this was just blatant disrespect to steal a gimmick on the internet, on the indie scene. That's just my opinion, but everybody else is kind of playing into the story, I guess, which is fun. But I'm too yeah, because yeah.
And you and I talked about this. The reason why is because anytime a wrestler jumps on Twitter or any form of social media and goes, let's settle it in the ring, that's a work.
Axel, I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you're best friends with them, they are working you.
Yep.
Telling you right now.
Well, not knowing the story and you explaining the story and all the facts, 100% will work.
Yeah.
Dude, like so the SAP is created. Joe Buck, who like they're like literally there's 13 people in AEW who have directly worked with SAT, and even more who are very well aware that the SAT are a real thing. I don't see. That's my thing. Is you are sitting there saying, well, if they're working me, God bless them. Wrestling fans are so keen to know the inside scoop that they're not gonna fucking tell you, because if they tell you or anyone else, hey, listen, we're best friends, but we're getting a fucking AEW deal, but keep it on the low. They know you're gonna one of those people are gonna go run their mouth. So they're fucking telling everybody, no, man, this is a fucking real thing. If it was a real thing, he would have never said in his promo, let's settle it in the ring.
Number one,
he wouldn't even go online. He would go right to a lawyer.
Well, exactly, because nobody is going to sit there and go, let's settle this in the ring if it's real life. Like, bro, if you stole my ID or my idea and you're on TV, I'm meeting you. It's on site. Like, I'm meeting you outside the arena.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hear from my attorney, and then you're going to catch these hands. Like, I'm not going to go, let's settle this in the ring, boys. That smells like a work. I'm sorry.
And I'm happy. I want them to get that opportunity because they fucking deserve it, and they deserve all of that. They're a great team. They've done such a cool. They've done such amazing things in this business as talent, as well as helping others get better as talent and putting them over and giving people opportunity. They are the most selfless people in this business, and everyone that you talk to about SAT fucking love the SAT. So I doubt every single person who's part of the AEW locker room, and 85% of them are all Northeast wrestlers, are gonna fucking disrespect them like that.
Yeah, like I said, it's blatant, but I mean, like I said, it's not
3 guys who are easily gonna take a loss.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep, absolutely,
100%. Dude, Willow had a T-shirt, an official AEW T-shirt before she was signed. It was pretty clear she was signed. As a smart wrestling fan, when Willow went out there and wrestled Jade and got offense in, if you're getting offense in on an AEW talent, you're probably signed. Like Kaylin King, when she went out and started getting offense in matches, you're probably signed. when you come in and you're an independent guy who works a dark elevation match and get fucking smushed, you're not signed.
One of our guys here in the Midwest got some good offense on Ortiz, but
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you're getting enough to make a match, if you're going past commercial on Dynamite, you're getting signed.
Agreed. I was like, I just thought maybe it was.
And plus, realistically, when they did the SAP bit and the entire crowd started chanting SAP, that was a worked crowd. They were told to start chanting. Everything about that was 100% scripted, planned. I don't know. I hate to be that guy, but I talk wrestling logically. I'm not trying to ruin everyone's thing. This is not me disrespecting SAT. I love them more than anything, but I'm reporting it, I'm saying it how I truly feel. And I'm not trying to ruin anyone's storyline. I want everyone to buy into this. Please go on Twitter and say, AEW, you're so disrespectful. How does the SAT not get an opportunity? And tag them and tweet them and keep that fire going. Please do all that. Keep that energy going, because the more you feed it online, you're going to get them more opportunities for this to become a real thing. And hopefully this storyline moves to Wednesday and not Dark Elevation, where not a lot of people are going to see it. That's my only gripe with this. I wish this was on a program where they can be utilized. And we can have this argument that Dark Elevation and Rampage are still opportunities, but not 90% of your audience don't watch it.
Axel, I know you think I'm a dick, man, but like I said, if when I first heard about the story, yes, I was right there with you. But like I said, when a wrestler challenges another wrestler on Twitter to a match, not a real fight or not a fight in court, it's a work. Here's another thing: if they're your friends, and they're filing a lawsuit against AEW, it's public record. Look it up. If there's no lawsuit filed, then it's a work. So that's it, boys. We all did our bad booking for the week, didn't we?
We
Mark,
did.
Mark, yours was
the Trios Battle Royal for the fucking cash.
Yep. Mine was Isaiah Swerve's Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee segment with all the extra stuff, and ABJ's was AEW as a whole. Gosh,
come at me!
All right.
I can't wait till AEW gets better and we can stop picking on them all the time. But
might be a minute. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on with ABJ right now, and I'm a big AEW mark, and I defend it all the time. But they are at a all-time low, and the only thing at this point,
everybody wanted as the world champion is the world champion, and it's at a low.
I was just getting ready to say that,
and I feel like the only thing that could save AEW right now is
up, Lisa.
Number one, either Vince McMahon comes back and takes over the E, and they're like, "Oh, fuck this shit," or number two, this whole CM Punk nonsense has all been a work, and that
I think CM Punk found a way to make things right, and I think they're gonna do business. Because I think my personal thing is, I think FTR, they're rumored leaving and going back to E. I think that's all a work too.
So hopefully it's all a work, and that would be like the ultimate, kayfabe of current wrestling, because it's very hard to get real good kayfabe here with the internet and all that shit. Other than that, AEW is on a very bad downward spiral right now, and that will lead me into our new segment to close out the show. If you don't mind, we always do a bad booking of the week. Let's do our best booking of the week, and if you guys don't mind, I'll lead off, and I'm gonna go the whole Action and Chris Jericho. I think that's the best thing, in my opinion. Something that's awesome, like ABJ said, that Chris Jericho is doing. And I'm going to say that's the best, because also when he came in and saved them, they didn't run out like a bunch of pussies. He laid them on their ass. That's going to be my good booking of the week.
I think it's good booking, but I don't think it's the best.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yep. I agree. I think it's really good booking, but I don't think it's the best. My best booking for the week goes to the Game, Triple H. Continuing to bring in guys like Bronson Reed and Johnny Gargano and stuff like that. And the Bloodline storyline is it's intriguing. You know, I mean, no matter what you think about it, we're all talking about it and we're all having fun talking about it. So yes, yes.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, the best booking in professional wrestling is the story of the Bloodline. Easy, easy peasy. Best booking of the week.
All right.
Next
Not mad at
week,
you. Not mad at you.
hey, next week, let's talk about Ric Flair.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Because of the
just,
show? Because of the anything
Did
find
that
it.
drop yet?
Yeah,
tomorrow.
the commercial dropped for it.
Tomorrow
I haven't
Monday.
watched it.
It's either Monday or Tuesday. I don't think
I
it's
have
done yet.
not watched. I have not watched Vice's thing on Vince McMahon yet, and I haven't watched the Ric Flair thing yet. But
Is the Ric
let's
Flair's a
talk about
WWE project, though, right?
it. Is
It's gonna be a puff piece.
oh, absolutely. But I find it very weird that those allegations, and we can bring it back to the Mandy Rose thing. Mandy Rose shows her nipples, or insinuates. Mandy Rose does her own business on OnlyFans and gets terminated for it. And you have a guy who was on your plane who sexually harassed somebody, and you cut ties with him, and now you're slowly bringing him back.
There you go, Lisa. Hey, SWI, I bet the Young Bucks and the older Bucks win the Trios title. Here's what I said. I said, you know why I thought this Trios title thing was going as long as it went? Well, what did I say when I said it was the best out of 7?
It'll be
what was
right
my
around
reason?
the time. It'll be right around the time the Punk comes back.
Not just that. I said, I think there's something in the works that the Bucks want to do, but they can't get it done right now, so they need filler, and they can't bury every Trios team from now till the time they need it to go. So I think the best of 7 will end good because the next thing after it is what they intend to do, but they know working a best of 7 with those 3, there'll be money matches that people will be enjoying. But for me, I think that real thing won't pick up until after that tournament's over.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, here's to hope that that's going to be a good payoff.
Yeah.
So next week, let's dive into Ric Flair.
Let's find out how much of a puff piece this fucking Ric Flair documentary is before we get excited about talking about it.
Yeah,
it's going to be Ric Flair's awesome. He's so great. Everything about Ric Flair's great. Yeah,
of course. But like I said, we'll kind of get into it next week, and that'll be a teaser for everybody for next week. Not only will we talk about the landscape in professional wrestling, but we're also going to talk.
What's our draft?
What's our draft next week?
Best moments of 2022.
Ooh, I like it.
New Year's.
Yeah,
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. All right.
All right, guys.
I'm going to throw. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm going to throw in a little bit of and I would hope that ABJ would as well. I'm going to throw in a little bit of indie stuff tonight. So
go right ahead.
I mean,
I don't have
not
any
tonight into this draft. So.
Oh, you could go right ahead. If you guys don't know, I'm a very mainstream type of guy. One of my goals for 2023 is to get a lot more, indie scene. I'm gonna start going to a lot
IWTV,
more.
baby.
I'm gonna start also going to a lot more local shows here in Chicago.
You'll have a blast, dude.
Just to get in touch. I've actually never ever been to a local house type of these.
I'll tell you what
over here. So I'm definitely gonna try to do some.
I've never been to Chicago, so I'll come to Chicago and we'll go to a local indie scene.
All right, we'll plan it, man. We'll figure it out. Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
If I wasn't so broke, I would do that, but I'm fucking as poor as you can get.
All right. Go ahead, guys. Hit your plugs and let's get out of here.
All right, guys.
Do we have any other news, independent, outside of wrestling that we want to talk about?
If you guys want to talk about it, I don't. So go ahead.
Not this.
I kind of snuck in with the Sammy Callahan. That's pretty much all I had.
Yep.
Yeah.
Independent for me is kind of slow. It's the end of the year. I won't really get into much until next year until I find out what bookings I'm doing or taking or whatever like that. So I have really nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go first since I'm the boring one of the group. So you guys can find me, Pro Wrestling Kingpin, all social media platforms. And that's it. ABJ, what you got going on, brother?
Anthony Blackwell Jr. on all social media. Like I said, I'm trying to get that 400. If you guys can do me a huge favor, share my YouTube channel out on your social medias, your Twitters, your Facebooks, and just be like, hey, this guy's working really hard. If you guys can help him out with a subscribe, that'd be great. I can listen. I'm not at this point. I'm begging. I'm trying to get those numbers. I've tapped my resources on how to grow. Besides making the content, it's just a slow burn for me. It's eventually going to come, but it's going to come with new interviews, new people coming in to see said interviews. It's going to take a little bit, but anything you guys can do to support that'd be great. My Discord is going to be open tonight. I believe we have some people that are going to go in there and chat. I don't know if I'm going to be in right away because I do want to go see if my wife's still awake and talk to her for a little bit because I didn't really get to have a conversation with her in a little bit. But that's all I really got. Anthony Blackwell Jr. everywhere. Support, subscribe, help out some people. And I got some cool interviews and great content coming for 2023.
Absolutely, guys. The CR Media 1988 guys. If you guys haven't seen, Stream Elements has been working hard in there, posting the link tree and the Discord link in there, guys. On Wednesday nights we do the Dynamite post show, where we talk about all the stuff that happened on Dynamite. On Thursday nights I do the I-70 hot tag, where we talk Kansas and Missouri independent professional wrestling, and we 90% of the time always have a wrestler on from the Midwest area, even wrestlers who are visiting the Midwest, like Josh Alexander, Matt Seidel, Brock Anderson. We're going to continue to do it in 2023, guys. Got a lot of stuff planned for 2023. It's going to be lots of fun. And then, of course, we got Bad Booking here. So CR Media's always got content for you guys. So definitely make sure you hit that link tree. Follow on all forms of social media. I'm not at a portion where I could be like, hey guys, I'm trying to get to here, trying to get to there yet. I just would like to see the numbers grow.
I just hit 1K on my like page on Facebook, and Facebook also sent me an alert saying because I've been posting so many reels and I've been getting so many people following that my page has been boosted by Facebook for the next 45 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Flood it with content.
Facebook is trying really hard to help independent people out again because they had such a bad rap. So
yeah,
hopefully that's why I started putting my live streams on Facebook now because because Facebook is starting to help out. So that's why I stream also on YouTube and Facebook. So if you're watching this on Facebook, please head over to the YouTube side and subscribe.
Absolutely. And then my final plug, guys, is the Discord. Trying to ramp up the Discord for 2023, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things in there, watch parties, all kinds of stuff. So, like I said, make sure you tune in there, and then of course follow CR Media and hit that notification bell so you never miss anything. And Bad Booking next week, we'll be here. New Year's Day.
New year, new us.
New year,
new us. New Year's edition of Bad Booking.
Maybe we'll see.
I'll still
be a fat drunk piece of shit. So
I'm so drunk right now.
Other than that, guys, anything else?
That's it.
Appreciate everybody joining in with us tonight. Appreciate Lisa, Scott, Everett Lee, Hunter, everybody who commented.
You're all amazing. Thank you so much for being
Merry
Christmas night
Christmas.
for you all to be here. Thank you so much. We hope after your long day of traveling and hanging out and doing everything you did with your families, the fact that you came and hang out with us at fucking 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it is at night, and supported us and came and chilled on a pretty big day. Where we hope we helped you wind down your holiday after your long day of traveling and doing everything in your hecticness, and come and just talking some wrestling with us. We love
and putting up with your stupid families.
Yeah, families suck.
Yeah,
they do.
Fucking laws.
What is Boxing Day? I gotta figure that out.
I don't know. It's weird. All right, gentlemen. As always,
stay tantalizing.
You fucking piece of shit. Good fight. Good night.